each other's mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings.
Grand Rising, Namaste, Ashe, salutations, salam, peace, peace, peace. Before we get into this, we gotta, play some music while y'all get the likes up. Make sure y'all hit that like button, get the likes up, put some music on, build the room up. Y'all go ahead and get active in that comment section. Get active in that comment section while we build the room up. Build up the space. It's early. I say we start exposing some stuff on YouTube. What y'all think? Huh? I got a couple of clips I want you guys to look at. Tell me what you think. We're going to go back, a blast from the past. We're going to go back to how we exposed them in the old clips that we played, right? But we're going to get into the details of how you wait as soon as I get online to come stand right here and say something. As soon as you heard me online.
We having black tea, so won't you come and take a sip?
What?
We serving black tea, but be careful not to slip. Black tea, taste the drama real good. Do you want some black tea? In the white tea.
No, I might have to drop him off the floor because he's missing.
Truth is moving on them streets. But it's caught between the
Can't you log in and still get credit for being in class?
Who be grifting, who cheats? Who be sending round them
What's good with y'all? Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Beef on top of beef all day, every day. Troublemakers put on display. Do you want some black tea?
What's been going on over here in this set?
Won't you come and take a sip?
Hey, man, we got to point these people out. They running wild right now. These personas out here running wild right now with all of this. They're trying to, I think, BigHungryCC might be more in like conspiracy theory lane than the stuff Jaguar Wright is pushing. But with that being said, he branched off into the conspiracy theory stuff after trying to make it seem like he was a bodyguard and all of that stuff. Like he, seen Beyonce and her ambiance was so, demonic and all of that stuff, But, we're going to get into the depths of Jaguar, right? Because, see, a lot of y'all don't remember when Jaguar Wright said she sacrificed her son because she believed that they were trying to get him to sacrifice her, right? And if anybody know the story about behind, Giovanni, then that, he wanted to, do a robbery, and then it was a robbery gone bad, and the people he wanted to go rob took him out, right? Who you think set up that robbery, right? This is dark shit because Jaguar Wright thought that they was using her son to get to her. So she took her son out before he can take her out or sacrifice her. Remember, she tried to say that her son was interning for Rock Nation, right? Let's get into it. Let's hear it out her mouth.
Died because he was my son.
He died because of
He
your
was targeted because he's my son. He was working on his EP. I bought Philadelphia for him so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Rock Nation. And they approached him to sacrifice me. I saw his death when he was 19. I moved us here to stop it, to prevent it, to avoid it. They take them anyway to show you what the harm is. Giovanni, his death is why I do what I do. My son died because he was my son.
You see, this is numerous You know what I mean? If you go back to Baphomet, if you go back to the first, the first to be sacrificed, so on and so forth, right? You go back to the stories of how her mind plays on reality. Jaguar Wright is creating stuff in her mind and then forcing reality to concede to the shit that she blocked off in her mind, right? To the darkness that she blocked off in her mind, all the stuff that she did, right? So she's trying to create a false reality to make up for all the fucked up stuff that she did. Her dad, her brother, right? Her mom, right? These were all the things that she were re-intermenting because she learned from these stories. Remember, she said, and I quote, Jay-Z did this, Diddy did this. She was a part of the darkness at one point, right? They say the root sacrificed her. This is all victimizing stuff to make herself seem like she's the super victim, right? But if you go back to when we had exposed all of this stuff, linking all of them together, showing you how they're manipulating the internet, that these are just characters that they created, right? If you go back, right, all of them, this is the big Jaguar effect. This fake character, BigHungryCC, right? This is all the stuff that came out of the Jaguar effect, right? Big Hungry coming out of the woodworks, with the whole storyline of how he, is not going to argue with men online as he sit and argue with men online, right? Sit there and say he was a bodyguard for the elites and he met Bow and all of this other dark stuff, right? Let's take a listen. As he addressed men. So you are on the internet arguing with men if you're addressing them via the internet. This is how slow they are.
Thing that I've said and proclaimed has turned out to be true. I will never come on the internet and argue with men on any type of apps. I will never come on the internet inventing or stating things that I cannot verify to be facts.
So that's a lie. Because why did you call the Not Show asking him for my name? Why are you calling him asking him for my name? Now you're trying to play like I would never come on the internet and argue with men. Look, it sounds like he's reading this off a piece of paper. Listen to him.
In any court in the world of law, any court of law in the world, eyewitness testimony.
He can't even in any court of law in the world. Get your
and circumstantial evidence is enough to convict someone and send them to prison for life. The guy.
So, BigHungryCC says. So, y'all might be familiar with Big Hungry. Let's jump into more parts. Let's jump into more parts of this.
I am not going to treat the internet as if it's the streets.
Because anybody say my name, I'll pull up. Y'all play low tier games, but I know how to play these games. I've been in this game a long time.
Well, ain't nobody threaten you. You threaten me.
What's his name?
What's his name? Then do your own research.
I will never come on the internet and argue with men on any type of apps.
Now, if he got Beverly. Now, I want y'all to think about this. This is what's happening on the internet now. This is the level of rhetoric that's taking place on the internet now, where these people are just getting on here, spilling out these stories, fraudulent stories, age of disinformation. All these personas are playing these different characters, right? That's where the CC comes in, content creator, right? Big hungry content creator. You know what I mean?
Come on the internet and argue with everything that I've said and proclaimed has turned out to be
about Beyonce, but he's saying, right? But
Hennessy smoothie machine. Like the Hennessy was a Slurpee machine, but it made like Hennessy infused drinks. They have to put up a certain type of curtain.
This is what he's saying about Beyonce.
With made by a certain type.
Listen to the exaggeration on
in the
this.
room over the windows before she shows up. There's a person that travels with her who is, I believe, her spiritual protection ground person.
Now this a person who's listen to this shit. This is what he's saying about Beyonce. This is what he's saying about Beyonce, but he's saying this because he's saying Beverly tried to remote view Beyonce, and all she seen was black stuff, right? Yeah, it's Big Hungry Cupcake. He's seen this witch that operates with Beyonce, right? Now, this is the interview where Little Yum Yum shows him the picture of Marina Brockovich and says, "Is this the woman that you see with Beyonce?" Trying to say Marina Brockovich be with Beyonce. Now, if you recall, Jaguar Wright also at this time was screaming that, Marina Brockovich was in some type of handling position over Jay-Z, right? But my, how the tables have turned, right? Certain variations of clout has been given to, certain people, right? Jaguar Wright's not loving the attention that Big Homie CC is getting, right? Big Homie CC talking about aliens, Bigfoot, and so on and so forth, really kind of taking over the conspiracy sector, right? The same sector that she's getting these awards for, because that was a conspiracy convention that she went to get that reward, right? So a reward award, right? So now you have Big Hungry CC talking about Bigfoot, Yellowstone Park, why you can't, he's on the do not harm list, whatever the case may be. You got him talking about different variations of things. The blue couch has seemed to, allowed him to freely, create that energy in that space, whatever it is that he's creating, room full of lies. But once again, like Cat Williams says, no one knows why a liar lies. So we don't have to try to figure out why these liars are lying, right? All we have to do is look at the entity that is in possession of these personas, right? So when you look at Jaguar Wright, there's a lot of jealous energy in there, right? So of course she would be jealous of Big Hungry CC. Big Hungry CC is now rocking or working with Little Yum Yum, right? Whatever for whatever bromance they're on. You're watching him rock with Lil Yum Yum. They doing little, backyard excursions, the little backyardigans, and Jaguar Wright is feeling a certain type of way about all of this. So in a minute, we're going to listen to Jaguar Wright speak on how she feels about this situation with Big Homie CC and some things that Big Homie CC needs to clear up. Apparently, Big Homie CC has been doing a little bit of pillow talking, and he done said some things to Little Yum Yum about Jaguar Wright that makes Little Yum Yum say he's not rocking with Jaguar Wright anymore. So there's a lot of narratives that's being pushed. And is it ironic to you guys that all of this seems to be coming from the Atwoods family or the Jaguar Wright sector? That don't seem odd that it's always Jaguar. See, I told y'all. We been pointed this stuff out. We been said all of this stuff. We been was on point with this stuff. We been like, yo, pay attention. Look what's happening. Look what's going on. Have we not? Have we not pointed this stuff out numerous times? Have we not said, look at what's going on? Look at the game they're playing. The only people that's actually being affected by this is the people who are putting their feelings and emotions into it, their intentions into it, making these people think that what they're saying holds truth, right? Now, we can say that, Bigfoot talks about Bigfoot been around for years, talks about ancient aliens been around for years. When you look into Kemet meaning black, the land of black, and you go back into some of these stories, of Kemet, because now they're going to say it's Africa, but if you go back to Kemet, and the story of the Kundalini, how they taught us how to use different variations of our energy with the ley lines of this earth, so on and so forth, right? This is all they're doing. They're taking what is to be true and they're adding the fear onto everything, right? So that way you don't do shadow work. That way you don't open up to new age spirituality. That way you don't. So what they're doing is trying to place the fear. Oh, the 72 demons of Saul, the soul of man. I met Baal. I met, come on. Come on. Y'all playing on spiritual fear now. Whereas though before it was carnal fear, the fear of losing your house, the fear of not having enough money, the fear of not making it, the fear of, you know what I mean? And then once they realized the carnal fear wasn't affecting people, right? We didn't care about, the government and all of that shit that they were trying to push out there, right? When they started talking about weapons and all of the conspiracy theories around the government and weapons of mass destruction and all of that stuff, we were like, man, we know that they doing that. We don't care. Like microwave, all of that stuff. We was like, man, we were worried about spiritual. What connects us to the universe? What connects us to Gaia or Mother Earth, right? Once they figured out that's what people were more focused on, the spiritual stuff, right? Then all of a sudden you see Jaguar and BigHungryCC having, oh, we're going to have Beverly come and do a DNA test on us. But then right before the show, it say, this is not a real DNA test. All of this is fictional. Shut up. Shut up. Shut the front door and the back door. All of this is fictional. We're doing a pretend DNA test, ancestral DNA test about the old bloodlines. How? The bloodlines that y'all talking about, Atlantean bloodline, Sumerian, or even if you go back further to galactic bloodlines, right? Lyran, Palladian, all of these different things, right? If you go back to that, right? There's no blood to test for that stuff. That would say that they had DNA at that time of age to be able to test the blood of people, and they didn't, right? Or they had the knowledge at the time that they came about with DNA and they changed the titles of these bloods, right? So either way, it's giving off false info, right? So they played into this whole, they know about this and they know about that. These are informants. These are people that are informed on the information. And because they are now seeing that they're getting traction online from the stuff that they're talking about, they're trying to dive into it more to make it seem like they're credible, right? But if they ever sit down with someone who actually studied Zachariah Stitchens, who actually looked into hieroglyphics, who actually looked into, Egyptian mythologies and stuff like that, or, constellations of the sky and how we're connected to the universe, if they sit down with somebody who actually knows that knowledge, they'll get tore down, right? So they created other characters of knowing, right? So this is where you get the 607 unks, right? So because there are two people on the same side, they make it look like they're, battling each other's wits, but really they're not really challenging each other. It's all a gimmick. You get what I'm saying? So they're pretending to act like, oh, 607 unk knows this, BigHungryCC knows this, right? Let's put them in the same room and see what happens. Oh, yeah. What do you know about this? What do you know about the universe? Ain't no universe, man. They said that they figured out the universe with mathematics and blah, 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 blah. What? This is how you know that these people are fraudulent. They are agents of chaos. They are meant to put the public in, confusion in their mind. Right? If we all came to agreement that the world was round, and then we all come to an agreement that the world is flat, right? It could reshape reality, right? Maybe the minds are more connected to the earth than anything, right? And if a multitude of people start thinking that the world is one way, then that world will become that way. So if we start all thinking that we're in a peaceful world, then maybe the world will become peaceful. But what would that benefit? That wouldn't benefit the people that run this world. Why? Because they know that if we all come to a one love understanding, then eventually by 2075, the white population will be at 10%. Because once you mix black with anything, it's going to surely be black. So it's carbon. So they know that they're going extinct, if you would say. So why would they push an idea of one love that would push them out? Come on. Come on, let's think about this. This is about population control, not the population of the people, but the population of who is in control, right? So if you see a heavy decline in the Caucasian population, right, and we push to a one love type of world, right, then surely that population will become what? The minority and not the ideal majority that they portrayed to be on this planet, even though we know they already the minority, right? So they don't want to know, and they don't want to tell you the superiorship of carbon, right? They don't want to tell you how strong carbon is. They don't want to tell you that carbon is in everything. They don't want to. Why? Why? Just like history, rewrite history, rechange history, make you think that, that was always there. It wasn't. So we can't talk about it. We can't speak on things. We can't talk about the dark ages. We can't talk about first century. We only got to accept what they tell us from the 5th century on. Because Christ didn't come about into the 5th century, not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ came about the 5th century. There was characters in the 4th century, 3rd century, 2nd century that had the same depiction of Christ, except they might have been vegetarians, didn't eat meat, and had a more spiritual connection to the earth and the universe, right? And they might have went by a different calendar, kind of like Ethiopia is in 2018 or 2018 right now, right? And they got 13 months in their calendar, right? So when you think about all of this, right, everything is really based off of where you were born at, based off the knowledge that is given, the history that is taught, right? United States teach a specific world history, right? And we're World War II, World War I. We wasn't the bad guys. We were the good guys, right? But if you go back in history and you actually look up, swastikas and stuff like that, if you turn it the other way, it was a symbol that was given by the Japanese. The Japanese had this symbol, and it was a symbol of peace. That's why I say, like, all of this stuff, to me, all of this stuff is like, wow, when you get into it. It's like, wow, right? But you won't look at it like that. And the reason why you won't look at it like that is because history has put so much disdain on things. So we see history and we're like, that's ironic. But in reality, right? You have to realize how connected you are to all of this, right? So according to what is, always was, and always will be, your social security number is under admiralty laws. Admiralty laws are laws of the sea, right? But it's not talking about the sea outside of the body. It's talking about the holy sea inside of the body, right? It says Holy See, admiralty laws rules the world. Also referred to as maritime laws, the laws of the sea, commerce, fiat, currency, water, bank controls the flows of currency / water. There are many laws of the land, many only one law of the sea. The law of the sea, admiralty laws, has taken over the world through fiat currency, admiralty ships that deport, commerce seals, logos, admiralty goods, fringe flags in the U.S., courts, schools, etc. Also, your name in all capital letters is under admiralty law jurisdiction. And you can go to the reference that is Revelation 17, 1-7, which talks about Mystery Babylon, right? And the Holy See, Vatican City, State. Now, why would those two references be in the same abbreviation, right? The reference to the Bible, right? Revelation 17, 1-7, and Holy See, Vatican City, State, right? And you can look up the Holy City, Vatican City, State if you want, right? And that's why I say Holy See, SEE. See, you thinking CSEA, right? But this is the holy CSEE, right? Those who control what you see, right? The 10% that was given to man, right? So the 10% of the light that comes in through the world that is given to man is distorted by mankind, right? So we see what it is that they want us to see, right? Because they have been given the keys to Jubilee, right? When you get into the keys of Jubilee, then you get into what the Pope was given, right? This is where Hercules and the story of Hercules comes in at, right? The story of Zeus, right? The story of the gods. See, the gods wasn't given possession to things outside the vessel. The gods was given possession to things inside the vessel where gods dwell at. Gods don't dwell outside of the bodies of mankind. Gods dwell inside the bodies of mankind. So when you get down to the story of Greek mythology, it was a breakdown of what was given to the gods of mankind. And here's how that breakdown went. That breakdown was given based off of Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon, right? I mean, not Poseidon, Zeus, Hades, and the other brother, because Poseidon and Hades is the same person. No. Now I'm getting the Roman gods mixed up. Because remember, they changed it. Greek mythology became Roman mythology, and then there was new Greek mythology. So you got to go back to the original Greek mythology before they changed it to Roman mythology. Kronos was before all of that. Kronos is the father of them. So Kronos took out his dad, who created, all of this stuff. And then, they came along and took out Zeus. Zeus and Jupiter are the same. Yes, when it changed over to Roman mythology, Jupiter was Zeus. But when it changed over to what we know of today, then you got Jesus, which is Christ. Jesus Christ, Jesus Christos, however you want to look at it, is the Zeus of that time. But the realms that they were given was given inside the body. Zeus rules the sky. The sky is your mind. The sky is your brain, right? So Zeus rules that. To this day, Zeus still rules that because Christ is in the minds of the multitude, right? So Jesus is in the minds of the multitude, right? Now, when you get down to the body, now you got Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of the water, right? So Neptune rules the water, right? According to Roman mythology, he was given the waters of the body. That's makes up 75% of your vessel, your waters. So that's where admiralty laws come in, right? And then you have what Hades was given. Hades was given the dead lands. That's the dead flesh on the outside of your skin, That's why death is on the outside. When you look at this world, that's why death is in this world, because Hades was given this world, which is on the outside. You get what I'm saying? One's in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Everything else was given to Zeus, Poseidon. These are the gods that rule the inside of the vessel. And there's a lot of things that comes with the waters of the vessel, right? Yeah, Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon. These are the three things. This is why we still have the power of three right now. This is why we still tell you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is why we still tell you these things. In another time, these would have been the stories of Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, right? In another time, it would have been the story of Kronos and how he, took over his father. Remember, Kronos, supposedly cut the genitals off. If you go back into a lot of these stories, it's telling you the breakdown of what happened, how our bodies was split into 13 pieces, and they put the body back together, but they took out the importance of one piece, which is the genitals, right? The multidimensional part, what makes us multidimensional, right? If you look it up and look up. You could put this in your Google search if you don't believe me. Just look up what body part is multidimensional, and it'll start showing you the women reproduction area and the male reproduction area. You get what I'm saying? So it's telling you where this multidimensional knowledge and stuff comes from. If you get into Kemet, it'll tell you about multidimensional beings and so on and so forth, right? When you get into Kundalini energy, see, I study a lot of this stuff, right? I really studied it, not this fake, informed shit that they're trying to put out. See, they can give you certain things, but they can't give you how they came about with this knowledge. That's how you know it's informants. You get what I'm saying? Because they can't tell you how they came about this knowledge. They can't tell you that because they have been informed to come out and spit false narratives of what is true and what is and always was and always will be. This is what pisses me off about this world. It's because when y'all see the people that's giving y'all the facts and the merits behind everything that they talking about, y'all will discredit them. But then when y'all see a prominent ideal figure, y'all will give them all the credit in the world of being right. That's why idolization wasn't supposed to be something that we did down here, because you started idolizing the faces of mankind. So now, a certain person has to come to you and say something in order for you to be like, that sounds about right. You don't know the truth. You don't know how to search for the truth. Our journey for the truth is off. How we search for the truth is off. We're looking for an idol person to tell us the truth. We're not looking for it for ourselves. Why do you think Kai Cenat started reading more? Why do you think Kai Cenat came out with a whole page called Kai's Mind? Y'all make sure y'all go follow that page too. Why do you think he's telling people to start reading more? I told y'all that this was going to happen in the world, where they're going to realize that putting the knowledge back into our brains, it's what's giving it power, right? And that's the ether, right? They've been trying to figure out how to feed the ether for the longest time now. They've been trying to figure out how to feed the ether. They've been trying to figure out how to control the ether. They didn't know how, right? But I'm telling you, in the Aquarius sky, right? Positive, more knowledge in the vessel, more, vegetables. This is how they're going to start crafting the world. They're going to start because they know the powers of our bodies. They know our digestive system has a certain it gives off a certain energy inside the vessel. They know that our brain and how we get these Ezekiel wheels turning in our brain, right? So what you're going to see is you're going to see a different change, right? You see it right now in the churches, right? The churches want to tell you the truth, but they don't know how to get their pastors and stuff in line with the truth to start preaching the truth, right? So what you got to see the rise and the fall before the rise, whatever you want to call it, right? So before they start teaching us the new knowledge and stuff, right? Because they still got to implement what they already taught us. Everything has to come into full circle. The understanding of Christ, the understanding of Allah, and all of that stuff has to come full circle. See, the Bible gave us the story in the physical walk, right? The Quran gave us the story with a mental conversation, right? And then the Torah gave us the story in a spiritual concept, right? You have to put those three books back together. They don't know how to put them back together. They don't know how to put the mind, body, and spirit back together because they all took a piece of what is, always was, and always will be. So now they have to teach us how all three of these is connected. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. They've been benefiting off the separation of all of these for so long, they don't know how to show you the unification of it. Hence, a false Christ coming, like Trump, right? Going to the Christian museum, right? Then saying that his daughter took her shahada, right? I'm trying to show you the way of this world. You know what I mean? I'm trying to show you the way of this world. Wu not kai? Wu not kai? I don't know. Wudu nakakai? You know, so that's why I try to point it out. I try to point the falsitries in the world. I try to point out the vessels that are operating with low vibrational entities, right? This is the only way that we're actually going to learn, right? Someone has to point it out. Someone said, show me where lust or this or that is built. Show me where it's at. Y'all think that lust is just a character in the world? No, these are energies and stuff that are built, that are created in the vessels of mankind. So how you gonna point out jealousy? You got to show a jealous person, right? How do you point out anything? So when you pointing out demons, you got to show the vessels that these demons are operating in. It's not my fault that these demons are operating in these vessels. I'm going to continue pointing out these demons because I want to show you the operation of demonic energies. And the only way I could show you, that's why the Bible say the devil will always appear to you in the form of a man. I want to show you through mankind the devil. That's what I'm pointing out. The devil. I want to show you Luciferian energy. I want to show you satanic energy. I want to show you this world. I want to show you how these people operate in this world. You know, I want to show you how they operate. This is their falsity, how they come in pretending that they're the light, but they put you in a fight. Make that make sense. They not pushing peace. They pushing beef. Jaguar Wright or something that the Atlas would, Atwood family can them exposing. Okay, so let's listen to what Jaguar Wright is saying in regards to Big Homie CC, the Blue Couch, and Little Yum Yum.
Clear about this. Rodney's daughter. Let's be clear. Understand this. Nobody can replace me. Nobody. They got the algorithm working in their favor again, and their views still aren't beating mine. That's just what's real. What was it that CC said? The only person on Real Life to get the kind of views that I get, or to get close to the kind of views that I get, is Big Homie CC. Wasn't that what he told us? That's what Real Life said to him. Still ain't cutting it. Still not cutting it. Not getting nowhere near close to it. Unless
see, and that's a great thing to point out right there. If you're listening to what she's saying, they're not beefing over the truth. It's not like she's saying, you think Big Homie CC is more believable than me? You think that he's going to tell it how it is and not how it might be? No, that's not what she's saying. She's saying views, numbers, right? This is all a money game. See, money magic was placed on this world a long time ago. When you look at the infiltration of how they put it in America and how they brung money magic and the manipulation of it into circulation, right? Then it goes back to the Emancipation, the Proclamation, right? The same way you see them sneaking stuff into law right now is the same way they did it back then. They got a bunch of people that didn't know how to read to sign some papers so they can infiltrate greenback money system. So when we thought we were signing a paper of Emancipation Proclamation, we was really signing the system of banking that signed our Federal Reserves over to a greenback money system. That's why they're telling you about all of this. Oh, you got to get the money back. Do you know your Social Security card is this, that, and that? Y'all don't. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all didn't learn for yourselves. Y'all took somebody else's and then decided that's what y'all was supposed to learn. That's why the world's upside down now. Emancipation Proclamation wasn't about no damn freeing of no slaves. That's why the first slaves didn't, the last slaves didn't realize they were free until what year, right? Almost 1976 or some shit like that. So when you go back into history and you start learning this stuff and you look at the Federal Reserves and you go back to, when the Titanic sailed and who was on the Titanic and how certain people didn't get on the Titanic. Well, let's call it by its real name, the Olympian, because they wasn't on the Titanic. They was on the Olympian. Man, you could strike my page all you want, you scary ass dude. Y'all run around and play this whole strike game. Like, watch how I strike pages. Man, nobody cares no more. My page ain't even monetized. I don't care if you strike it. I'm still going to speak truth. I'm still going to put the facts out there. You need to worry about that nonprofit organization and 70% of the proceeds not going back into it. That's what you need to worry about. You need to worry about that, what is it, crueltyfree.org, right? You need to worry about all the money that y'all accumulating digitally, and IRS want their taxes. So that's what you need to worry about. You worry about striking people's pages. You worried about the wrong shit. You worried about the wrong shit. How are you a gangster but striking pages? Ain't that like telling? Huh? Ain't that like telling? Go ahead and snitch, you snitch. I don't care if you snitch. Snitch. You a rat anyway, Wolf Coochie. Fuck you talking about? Hey, worry about, I hope you worry about strikes. Go ahead, be a snitch. You good at it. Huh? You a better snitch than Pops, huh? You trying to get Holy Moly Donut Shop shut down, huh? Holy Moly Donut Shop. Uh-huh. You trying to call ISIS on motherfuckers. Uh-huh. You think it's gangster to call ISIS, nigga? Huh? You better worry about that RICO Act. That's what you better worry about. That paper trail catching up with y'all, ain't it? Mm-hmm. That paper trail catching up with y'all. Hey, everything on the internet is allegedly, ain't it? That's why the internet is undefeated. That's why you lost your wife, because the internet undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Thought she was gonna want you back after you was running around with a Jaguar Wright. Hell no. You had to settle for that shit. And you're gonna have to settle for that jail time too, my boy. Y'all better change those pages up expeditiously. You know those pages, they got to send you those papers for those pages. You know what I'm saying? W-2 forms right here, right now. They need to know where that money coming from, Stop avoiding your emails. You see that Google email telling you that W-2 forms is in, huh? You see that Google email telling you that you got to put these taxes in. You see it, huh? You know what they want, huh? Cash App and all of that stuff, PayPal, all of that stuff. They got there's W-2s for that stuff, huh? Huh? It is W-2s for that stuff, huh? Wolf Coochie. Hey, Wolf Coochie, don't you leave, man. Come on up in the box, man. Come on up in the box. Y'all play scary, don't want to have conversations with the real people that ask y'all the right questions. Bring your ass up in the box. Don't try to go pre-ready yourself for questions. No. Get your ass up here. Huh? Wolf Coochie Technologies. Come on. Get your ass up here, Wolf Coochie Technologies. You ain't got to see me, snitch ass. Go snitch. Go do what you good at. Report to YouTube, clown. You ain't got to see me. You know what you do. You know what you do. Hold on. Look, this is what he do right here. Look, I'm going to show y'all right here in this video what he do. Look, this is what Wolf do. Right here. Listen to what he say. Listen to what he say now. So if they already got the phase one, they already got the group. You know, time to attack Big Hungry CC, time to attack the Blue Couch, time to attack this page, and then we're um
by Jag, and we gonna get the 10K, then
time to start doing this takeover thing that she thinks she's gonna do. You know, time to attack Big Hungry CC, time to attack the Blue Couch, time to attack real street stars, right?
at 6K, 7K, setting the West, as I said. The goal is to get to everybody. Just you. We're gonna get to 10K, then we're gonna move on up like the Jeffersons, and then we're gonna get them up out of here.
Oh yeah, especially 82. Do not. They can all go away. They're such a disgrace.
The thumbnail that 82 has been using with Jag's picture, that picture is copywritten by Jag. And I struck him for that, and YouTube still let him run with it. So that's why I say it's deeper. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm just understand that YouTube picks and chooses their winners and their losers.
That's true.
So they're
winners and
they're propping up those guys. All we're gonna do is just bring them down, and we'll talk behind the scenes, and it ain't nothing nefarious.
Yeah.
Like you're at 6K, 7K, setting the West, as I said.
What that sound like to y'all? Huh? What do that sound like to y'all? What that sound like to y'all? When somebody says that they're going to, take other pages down, that they're going to get their pages to, 10K and take other pages down. Welcome to the page. Welcome to the page. Huh? And then he comes in here talking about, I hope you like strikes, right? So we already know what your MO is, my boy. We already know what your MO is. Ain't nothing new. It's just ironic that I'm literally doing a live, pointing it out how y'all operate and pointing out the beef, why y'all going at Big Homie CC. See, this is why y'all mad at me, because I pointed out the truth in real time. And you got to remember, this was a whole year ago. They're still on the same operation. Look, this was a whole year ago. This live right here that we did was a whole year ago. Right? When you look at this, we've been exposed, y'all. Look at this. This was a whole year ago. Stop playing. 10 months ago. Huh? Whole 10 months ago. So you still doing the same shit that you was talking about doing 10 months ago. People gather to them, right? Now they got a legion. Well, because when you go back to my old videos, you got to remember when I first came over here, I was new to how this works. So a lot of the stuff that I played might had a sound bite behind it. Like I think one of the Big Homie CC clips had got the not sound bite behind it. So that's what he's going to try to talk or say, or I think maybe it might have been a clip that we replayed just now with Jaguar's voice. It's something that he's going to try to use to strike, because this old video, I can't remember if this old video was strikeable or not, but he's going to use something from this old video, which is from my page. So he really can't strike me because I'm using videos from my page. So when you go back and they look at it, they're going to be like, nope, that wasn't from your page. That was from Ralph the Wise. You know what I mean? So his strike game is about to be fucking denied. But the fact that he think that he can do that, it's crazy and shows their operation. It shows what they've been doing over here. These people now in the fraudulent scam, now it's time to start doing this takeover thing that she thinks she's going to do. Time to attack Big Hungry CC, time to attack the Blue Couch, time to attack real street stars, right?
At 6K, 7K, setting the West, as I said. The goal is to get to everybody. Just we're gonna get to 10K, then we're gonna move on up
Ain't it funny? You see how they pop back up on my page? That's how you know they always been watching me. How long we been gone? How long we been doing our, other shit? This is how you know they always been watching me. Look, look, look. I told you to quit using my photo. Look, look, cause he on the thumbnail. That ain't your photo on the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? They think they so scary with these little internet threats.
The Jeffersons, and we're gonna get them up out of here.
Oh yeah, especially 82 do not. They can all go away. They're such a disgrace.
The thumbnail that H2 has been using in the Jags picture, that picture is copywritten by Jag, and I struck him for that, and YouTube still let him run with it. So that's why I say it's deeper. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm just understand that YouTube picks and chooses their winners and their losers.
That's true.
So,
Bro, this is public, bro. Stop making it seem like your image is so important. Like, oh, I got the rights to my look. Like, bro, it's an image of you, bro. Your pictures is online, bro. Cut it out with this whole. You not famous, nigga. Ain't nobody got no copyrights to your face, nigga. Like you ain't that guy. Stop making yourself seem important, bro. Stop it. I didn't use none of your images. None of them. Get your ass out of here trying to play scary.
they're winners and they're propping up those guys. All we're gonna do is just bring them down, and we'll.
That's in your lies. We tired of them.
There is no competition. The only way it's possible for Big Homie CC to get the views that he gets on the blue couch because of Jaguar Wright. Matter of fact.
Oh, you hear that? You hear that? It's because of Jaguar Wright. Big Hungry is able to get the views that he get. How he getting them? Like he getting them. It's because of Jaguar Wright, she say. That what she say. Because of her, he's able to get what it is that he get. Right? So I want to know what Big Homie CC got to say about all of this. Will he respond? Will he, cruelty-free music? How you starting cruelty-free music and you being cruel to people on the internet? It's not making sense. Oh, when you use my image, I see your channel. Oh, bro, it's the internet, Wolf. It is the internet. What is you hurt by? Huh? What is you hurt by, bro? You got a chance to come up in the box. I dropped the you got a chance to come up. Here, I'll drop it again, bro. You got a chance to come up. You want to speak your piece, bro. Speak your piece. But don't do all of that yapping in the comment section, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't do all that yapping in the comment section, bro. You know? I ain't gotta check no thumbnails. What I gotta check a thumbnail for? I put the thumbnail up. Huh? Check a thumbnail for what? I'm the one that created the thumbnail. What are you talking about?
I don't understand. If you don't argue with bisexual men, sir, how do they have your phone number? I don't get it.
See?
Like, cause if you don't bang with bisexual,
she talking about the knot. That's one she talking about. She talking about the knot. And then she goes in to talk about Lil Yum Yum. You don't want to hit the link, but you all in the comment section. Huh? You don't want to be seen, but you all in the comment section. Why ain't you just stay in the what they say? What they say on here? Why ain't you just stay in the bushes? Huh? Why you ain't just stay in the bushes? Bush warrior? Why you ain't just stay your bush ass in the bushes? Wolf Cushion? Huh? Reptile dysfunction? Why you ain't just stay in the bushes? Huh? Is this your way of pop out and showing people? Huh? Is this your pop out and show them in the comment section? Huh? Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas, huh? Get your ass out of here. Like the fact that someone is pointing this out faster than most people, right? So she don't like the fact that I'm pointing this out faster than most. She's upset, you know? She's upset that someone is pointing this out faster than most people. She want her lies to circulate. And now here we are, 10 months later, y'all still doing the same bullshit, and y'all back at trying to come at Big Homie CC. And we said this 10 months ago. Crazy, crazy work. That's what she wants. She want her lies to circulate and to create his.
Need to take care of stars. I am one. Big difference.
Please go over to YouTube, Ralph the Wise on YouTube. Appreciate it. Love is love. I see some of y'all coming in. We going up in numbers over
Sexual
there.
men, then you just don't bang with them at all. Like, no disrespect.
But
But let's be clear. Me and Big Homie CC, there is no competition. He was paid to take care of stars. I am one. Big difference. We are not the same.
You hear that, Big Homie CC? You hear that, Big Homie CC? Jaguar said, y'all is not the same. I wonder if Big Homie CC is going to respond to this, or will he just brush it off? Because she said his name about 8 times in less than a minute and a half.
And the truth is, if I were to release documentation of some of the real things that I know, people might find it hard to keep viewing on their channel at all. You know.
That's what I want to talk about right there, right? Now, when you're linking all of this stuff together and you realize that Ali Carter and them was a group of girls that Jaguar and them had, and they had handlers, and Jaguar used to whoop them, and Jaguar used to, so on and so forth. And, and that's why she called Jaguar Kitty Kitty, right? And when she said what happened in that Boulay household, right? And this is where Big Homie CC comes in, right? This is where the paperwork comes in, right? That shows that, Ali Carter hips are messed up or whatever happened in that Boulay household, the reason why she can't walk, whatever the fuck is going on, right? Because it's dark shit going on, right? And you heard what she just said. Now, I'm just putting a lot of this stuff together for you so you can get a grander understanding of how connected all these people are. See, Ali Carter don't care about herself. Ali Carter care about her girlfriend or her mom. So when Jaguar Wright put her mom at jeopardy, right? That's why they called off the shit with Jaguar and didn't want to beef with Jaguar no more, right? I'm telling you, this shit gets dark. But we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into a lot of that. Oh, it's 2026. Maximum exposure type shit, right? We're going to expose the relationship that she had with her dad that brought about her son, the relationship that she had with her son that brought about the bullshit. Listen, y'all want to talk about it? Let's really talk about it. Huh? I'll expose it before Big Homie CC expose it. I'll break it down before Big Homie CC break it down. See, they got to play within certain guidelines with each other. Huh? I'm coming in. Break the walls down. What? Are you ready? Huh? I'm coming in. You know what I'm saying? Kicking in the door, pointing out these demons. That's what I'm doing. That right? What does that mean, Big Homie CC? I want you to explain that one right there when she said if she was to release documentation, people will find it hard to keep views at all. What does that mean? Does this go back to what Ali Carter said of what happened in that Bouye household? And she's going after, you hear what she's saying?
Bad in real life after Piers Morgan. They was mad. They was mad.
I'm not letting anybody start anything between me and Big Homie CC. Big Homie CC is starting a lot of shit with me though, and that's about to end now.
See, remember, even Ronnie Slow was saying that, you know, Ron, Lil Yum Yum and them was telling them not to mess with who? Jaguar and Natanya Rubin, right? Natanya Rubin and them was whispering in Ronnie Slow's ear, telling him not to mess with, I mean, not Ronnie Slow, yeah, Ronnie Slow, telling Ronnie Slow not to mess with Ron and them, right? Remember, this is where the whole scheme of the Patreon comes in. When they told them we can get you 6,000 a month or whatever, so on and so forth, this is why they were mad. Because if you remember, the Ronnie Slow story kind of came off like, oh, he was going against Atwoods because they were doing this and doing that. No, remember, the whole situation took place in November. The situation between them took place in November where Ron called him the N-word on the back end, right? They still did the Christmas special together. They still did the little shows together when he came up missing, and they did that 24-hour live. And Beverly came and act like she remote viewed him in a gray room with people with gray suits and all of that weird stuff. Y'all don't remember that last year? Or 2 years ago now. I mean, it was 2024, I think. So here we are now, right? And they're still doing the same shit. But now Big Homie CC, remember the bullshit behind Big Homie CC where he was sitting at places making it seem like he was on a, you know, a evac or whatever the fuck he was making it seem like he was on, and he was supposed to be going over there to, you know, another country to Ron and staying in his basement and saving some people and all of that weird shit. Y'all remember how they created this. See, they trying to go after like a show. They want like a Netflix special. That's why he keep the same clothes on, because when you get these action figures, they only come with about 2 outfits that they can change out. I guess Jaguar action figure will come with a black bra that you can probably change out with a hashiki or with some shit. And then Wolf Coochie comes with removable glasses and shit and a hat and that black damn shirt. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to create these characters. That's why they always got on the same shit. You ain't got a different color shirt. You ain't got a different hat on. None of that shit. You got the same, because you're a character. So you got to get in character. It's like the knot with that damn jacket, right? They got to put that on, and then now they're in character. You know what I'm saying? Jaguar with the empty bonnet. She got to put the bonnet on. Now she's in character. I kept on trying to figure out, why do she got this bonnet on if it ain't no hair under the fucking bonnet? What is the bonnet bonneting? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck is the bonnet bonneting, right? But it's a character. The Auntie Mama image gives off a character. Remember, she put it on when she's doing what? Cooking that nasty ass what you call them in the kitchen, when she cooking the bacon with the sandwich and she sucking on her fingers and shit. What she got on? The empty bonnet. You get what I'm saying? Because it's an Auntie Mama image. You know what I'm saying? So when they put on this stuff, they become the character of these images. It's like when she go on the stage, she's got to have on the earrings and shit with like the Black Power earrings and all of that stuff, because when she go around black people, she fit in the character. It's just like when she go around white people, she gonna say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. You know, I'm a keeper of the Sabbath, right? Because these are characters that she have found that gets her through these environments of people, right? When you start looking at these different personas, these are the characters that they put together to get through certain ways. You know, she with the Muslims, she gonna say Stafala Aki and use all of those terminologies, right? Is she with the Jews, she gonna be like Shabbat Shalom, I'm gonna keep her the Sabbath, right? Because she try and make it, right? And just like when she go with the witches, what she do? I'm gonna burn some candles. I'm gonna get in the tub. I'm gonna shucky ducky quack quack and woosah and namaste and come on, you a character. Just like when she sat down with Beverly and they did all that fake spiritual shit, right? What she was. I'm gonna let y'all just go ahead and say, you know, they used to call me the daughter of Thanos. You know, I just snap my finger 2 times, make the whole internet disappear. Get your motherfucker. If you don't sit your mother Hatashi role playing ass down, I'm tired of all these different characters. She done switched up so many times, we're going to have to change her name from Jaguar to Hyena or some shit. She trying to be everything in the damn jungle. The Joe Rogan effect. I could be Joe Rogan better than Joe Rogan. That's why everybody keep running away from her. She try to get victims and act like she helping the victim, and in the middle of helping the victim, she become the super victim. Well, you know, I've been through some tragedies too. Did I ever tell you about? This is about me, what I've been through. Well, I'm just trying to say, you know. You know. And then when you listen to her son's like, if you don't stop, you're at the gates of Megiddo. I'm trying to tell y'all got to pay attention to this shit. She probably gonna do a live later on about Big Homie CC. Well, what could she probably telling her right now? Like, this motherfucker is over there spoiling our plans again. What we gonna do? They gonna have to put the whole crew back together. Thundercats. Ho! They gonna have to get all of them motherfuckers out this year to you know what I'm saying? She gonna have to call Lionel. She gonna have to call, listen, huh? She gonna have to call Panther. All of them about to have to come out. He's on us again. Shit. Put the Thundercats together. Oh no, Snarf. The motherfuckers. That's Wolf Cookie. Wolf Cookie over there like, Snarf. Oh, Lionel. What are we gonna do? Jaguar like, Thundercats. Oh.
Yeah, that's about to stop right now.
Yeah, see, it's Big Homie CC. Pillow talking.
Big Homie CC allegedly is the one that told Ron O'Roro over there at the Rock Project that, or at least that's what Ron's been running around telling everybody, that Big Homie CC don't mess with me. Like, until Big Homie CC got something to say about why Ron and his very hyperactive self is running around telling everybody he no longer bangs with me, I don't know.
Ooh. Now you hear it. Now you see what's going on, right? Now you see what's going on. Something's going on me. Big Hungry's got a secret. Ooh. Big Hungry's got a secret. Something's going on with me. What's going on? They don't want to talk about it. They always trying to keep this stuff. Oh, keep it behind closed doors. The Jaguar Wright bringing it out to the open. She's speaking on it now. So this is happening right now. This just happened within an hour, right? She's trying to tell Big Homie CC, hey, yo, you got some things to clear up. You've been talking bad about me over there with Lil Yum Yum. Lil Yum Yum saying he don't rock with me because of some stuff that you said. What's going on with that, right? Now, do you think Ron is going to respond to this? You think Yum Yum's going to respond to this? You think CC's going to? Yeah, that's because the day that it was recorded, it had that echo on there because I had the mic off. So when you hear this, you're going to hear that echo on there because that day that it was recorded. But you have to remember, we were pointing this out. This is why they don't want no smoke with us. This is why the Atwoods Network won't respond to us. This is why Lil Yum Yum say, nah, we not responding to him. They know that I'm going to point out facts, right? They know that when we did our digging, you go back to the Petty Pocket, when we did our digging, we pulled out facts, right? After they seen rest in peace to Murph. But after they seen how we started looking up all of the fraudulent stuff, the stuff online with the whole, scheming of homelessness and all of that shit, they said, oh, hell no. Who is this dude? Right? when they seen how thorough we looked up Jaguar Wright and started showing how she was doing this since 2010 on Facebook, and then it just drifted over into the other platforms, they said, oh, hell nah, who is this dude? Right? When they seen us look up Wolf Coochie and all of the things that he trying to pretend to do, he trying to be a fake Arthur online, you know, writing books. He trying to put together, you know, voiceovers of the messiness that they're forming over here and make it so that way, you know what I'm saying? They say, oh, hell nah, who is this dude? You know? And remember, at this time, about 10 months ago, Atwoods was going to court or about to go to court. So they didn't want nobody talking about Atwoods at that time because he was already going to court and it wasn't for no online shit, right? So now what's going on? You know, remember, you know, Ron said, little Ronnie Slow trying to be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna give him another chance. How you gonna give the people that you just wrapped around a whole colonization conspiracy shit and all of that shit, how you gonna give them another chance? You just said that you called the police station to try to get special, you know, escort because you said that a gang such as big as the KKK, like what the fuck, like come on now. And then you're going, I'm gonna give him another chance. How? You put a book out there. You can't steal the knots in my idea about something, hurry up and chat GTP a book, and then try to be like, you know, maybe they're not, you know, using our people to what? And y'all don't see this shit as suspicious? How y'all watching this shit go on YouTube for this long and don't see it as suspicious? Huh? It's suspicious. And y'all just running around like, well, I believe her. No, that's your feelings. That is delusional of you to just go with a feeling just because she a good storyteller. If that's the case, let's just go listen to some Slick Rick. Shit, he was telling the greatest stories. Here we go. But once upon a time, not long ago, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather, or Big L. Big L was telling stories, you know what I'm saying? Your jukebox, your belly, your cell phone is your celly, a deuce is a chick that's ugly. They ain't start using terms like that until like 5-10 years after Big L was gone. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hearing it twice right now? Even when I'm talking right now, y'all hearing it twice? I might have to drop it and then put it back up. Let me see something. Y'all listening to it 2 times. That's why it's so good. Y'all listening to it twice. That's what it is. Y'all listening to it twice. It's so good. Like you want to hear it twice. You know, you want to hear it twice. Is it happening now? Can you hear it now like that? Is it echoing now? Okay. All right. If it's not echoing now. Okay. Okay. So yeah, you gotta think about this. This is stuff we was pointing out a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into, you know, some of shout out to Trevor Green. We're gonna get into some of Trevor Green's cartoons and stuff like that. You know, I'm gonna get permission from him when he start making these newer you know, cartoons and stuff. We're gonna start getting into some of them and stuff. Hey, listen, because y'all know we been exposing shit over here. You know what I mean? We been pointing out shit over here. You know, this ain't new to us. You know what I mean? This is not new to us. You know. All right, so the sound's back in. Let me see. Let me see if the sound still back in right now. Like, hold on.
You know, lately a nigga been fighting a
What about now? Huh?
A lot of shit we do gonna have consequences, but we gotta be ready for them. Emergency. I just got out of surgery. I'm having problems with my heart and it won't work.
I know it's probably echoing now because I got it so that way the TikTok can hear it. So it's probably echoing now if I turn this volume up. My little nigga going against the grain and that's just stressing me. I pray to God that God have mercy. I'm living a crazy life. I decided to go from suckers to sit on the game and play the price. Save my life. If you want to lick shit, we can get rich shit, we can get paid tonight. Dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money, but don't want to go down. 187. You killed the. You don't know if you gon' go to heaven. Fight my demons. So many demons. Me against these demons. Fight my demons. Fighting my.
It's me against these demons.
Whoa! I'm fighting these demons up in this coast. I'm fighting these demons. It's in the beam. You're hitting the spleen. Money be clean. I'm looking so clean. I remember they laughed at me. Gave them the ball. My niggas follow me like the Pope. Don't give a fuck about bystander. Atlanta. Don't take no slander. Everybody want the money, but don't want to go down. 187. You killed the. You don't know if you gon' go to heaven. Fight my demons. So many demons. Me against these demons. Fight my demons. Fighting my. Hey, listen, we had that joint jumping over here, did we not? Hey, we had that joint jumping for a minute over here, did we not? Huh? That's why I say this is a flashback. This is a rerun. Everything that they doing right now, we already seen. We already pointed out all of this. That's why they didn't like us over here. That's why they were like, hell nah, he really exposing the truth. He got them people in the Discord. They watching people lives in real time. Remember, they started sending people over to the Discord to see what we was talking about so they can try to create lives off of whatever, you know what I'm saying? Different stuff that they heard in the Discord. That's how jumping the Discord was in a short amount of time. In a short amount of time, the Discord was so active. We were literally just in there and it was just like a chill space. Like time was flying by. People were like, yo, I'm off work. I didn't even realize what, like I was in the Discord the whole time at work. Damn, what? Like I ain't even realized that I done forgot to cook dinner and every stuff. Ask if your live preview caught their eyes. Did my live preview catch your eyes? AI is out of control, boy. TikTok is telling me what to do now. As people come in, this is crazy. Don't forget to donate and gift. And remember, there's a live goal. So if you just right up here, let's try to get that live goal complete. Appreciate it. Put me in the algorithm. TikTok loves me. I'm gonna start talking like that on TikTok. On the Madagascar show. Hmm? Will this just end up another episode on the Madagascar show? Or is this something that they should address? I think they should address this. I mean, this is supposed to be their family. This is their family. If they can't keep it together, how are we supposed to depend on them as a whole? Huh? How y'all supposed to depend on them as a whole if it's always problems in the family? First, Shane was doing all of this sneaky stuff, right? And then, you know, contrary to belief, you had Ronnie Slow with. Yeah, look, see, right there. I appreciate that because look at what's being exposed right now, right? Look at what's being exposed right now. I mean, on bigger scales, there was stuff that we pointed out over here that people are just now coming to the realization of, like, oh shit, this was happening, right? And we been pointed it out. They wanted to just brush us off as like a small content creator, nobodies. Of course, we take that. We the Atlas family. You know what I'm saying? We take all the shade. When we still came with love is love, what did they do? I ain't trying to hear that love shit. You know what I'm saying? And all we did was do what? We constantly pointed out the truth. We constantly, we didn't go with, oh, what lie is leaning which way? What lie is going that way? You know what I mean? We just started, you got to understand, like, we ain't nobody in the game. You know what I mean? So when it's easy to pluck nobodies off, you know what I mean? That's why we fell back, because we started pointing out a little bit too, like, we literally started hitting, like, with all of the fraudulent schemes, all of the manipulation, how they're using this funding. That's why you don't see nothing coming out of it. That's why you don't see, like, them buying land. That's why you don't see none of that stuff, because they're putting the money into drugs. That's why Ronnie Slow said that he was going to write Trump and have Trump pardon uh Lil Durk and um you know uh oh boy, right? And now when you see the interview now with young boy, I mean, what's his name? NBA young boy. When you see the interview now with NBA young boy, right? You'll see, like, oh snap, right? That's why I say just follow all things Trump. Yeah, they don't even know about the pardon or none of that stuff. He like, man, just follow all things Trump. Why? Because it's a narrative that's being pushed in the forefront of, right in front of us online. You know what I mean? Anything that's supporting Trump, anything that's in support of Trump is getting pushed out there, right? So, make America slime again, all of that stuff, the slogan. What's about to happen now? I think NBA Youngboy and Trump is about to appear somewhere together on the billboards or something like that. Trump don't even know about it, don't even know this person. And NBA Youngboy saying he don't know Trump or none of that shit, but somehow the internet put them together and put like a pardon out there where, so, like, come on. Somebody else put this shit together. How the people themselves don't know about the narrative that's been put together for their personas? Huh? Huh? Come on, man. That's why I say this, to me, is child's play. There's nothing new under the sun. Like the stuff that I can point out. Yeah, he say just follow all things Trump. Just, you know what I mean? All things Trump. Just follow all things Trump, whatever it is. Just they don't even know why. It's just like, man, just do it. Just follow all things Trump. Like, just do it. You know about your Trump pardoning you? I don't know nothing about none of that. Just follow all things Trump. Just do it. What you see Nicki Minaj come out, jump right on turning point, right? What Nicki Minaj do? Jump right on turning point. All things Trump. Fuck it. You only got people like Dave Chappelle who like, if you ever hear me say I stand with Israel, that means something wrong. They done got me. Blah, 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 blah. You only hear certain people like that. You know what I mean? And everybody else knows what the fuck going on. They know. You got to follow the money, right? Think about it. If Israel, if another entity is paying for our military, don't that mean our military is bought? That makes them mercenaries. That don't make them United States military. That makes them mercenaries. You getting paid. What the fuck is going on? Why y'all playing like y'all don't see what's going on right before our eyes? But here we are. We got to play dumb to the world and what's going on. You know what I mean? It is the Twilight Zone. I always feel like somebody's watching me and I get no privacy. Nah, this ain't the Twilight Zone. This the Outer Limits. You hear me? We not the Twilight Zone out of here. We the Outer Limits. You know what I'm saying? This is where they tell you straight up in the beginning, we can confuse your mind with 1,000 pixels or bring it crystal clear with one image. This is the Outer Limits. Please stand by. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I need to go back and watch some of that. I need to go back and watch some episodes of the Outer Limits. You hear me? I'm trying to tell you. It's where the even when you get to the end, you appalled. What the hell just happened? The Outer Limits always had an ending that threw you for another loop. As soon as you get to the end, you like, what the hell? Huh? As you find out, this is assimilation within assimilation within assimilation that's changing what we know to be a nation. I'm trying to clear the smoke for people. I'm trying to tell you the mystery of Babylon and why our energies is played on. I want you to understand why they got football teams, basketball teams, and so on and so forth, right? Because it's a manipulation of your energy. Think about it. If I'm manipulating the energy that is above people's head, right? But I'm doing it through the people, then I need to put that people in a certain frequency, right? Maybe that's the frequency of fear, the frequency of whatever, right? See, they found this out in the Middle East a long time ago with Loosh energy. Loosh energy is the blood that they use over there when they unalive people in fear, right? This is why there will never be peace in the Middle East, because the peace in the Middle East is all about fighting over that energy over there, right? This is why the Bible say he who says there's peace in the Middle East is the Antichrist, right? So he who announces that it's peace in the Middle East will be deemed the Antichrist, right? Who they got right now as the front runner to announcing peace in the Middle East? Trump, America. Huh? Pay attention. This will point out that we are Mystery Babylon. This will point all of this out. The money manipulation, so on and so forth. This will point all of this out when you dig into it, when you look into it, right? So once you realize that this is connected to Revelation 17, 1-7, you might become a little bit more interested, Christians. Huh? Once you realize that the operation of the Holy See is connected to Revelation 17, 1-7, and feel free to go read Revelations 1-7 and about the prostitute that sit by the waters and so on and so forth. It's in the book. I didn't write this. It's in the book. All right. And y'all know that we are in the Aquarius sky. The only thing that can actually be in the Aquarius sky is truth, right? This is why Kai Cenat is telling people to start reading books and get back into knowledge and so on and so forth, and why he came out with a page that's called Kai Cenat's Mind, right? To separate Kai Cenat from his own mind. So this gives his mind a place, right? Remember when we said that we're just going to break ourselves down into two forms, our carnal page and then our spiritual page, right? That's kind of what Kai Cenat did. He just did his carnal page and then his mind's page. You know what I mean? So we were going to do the carnal and the spiritual self, to show how these two entities operate in the same vessel. And so it's big things happening right now. You just got to look at how it's happening. Hold on, we got somebody up on TikTok right now. Let's see. Rose, how's everything?
Very good. Good morning.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, sir. And how we like to say in Spanish, Feliz Año Nuevo means
You say
New
what?
Year's. Feliz Año Nuevo is New Year's. So I understand what you're saying. I can relate to the expression of what the Bible is saying, and we need to pay attention to the word, because people say, "Oh, well, it's a Bible. It's telling you how to behave, how to do things in the sense of being a human being." But if you really read the Bible, you can actually break the code. In each scripture, in each chapter, it's like codes. It's like certain words, like you just expressed. It's two beings, and spiritual and human. We're living, and what's happening, how the the person who is going to say there's going to be peace is going to be the Antichrist, which is very, very true. People like Hispanics or us, I started to call it juju, which is witchcraft, because basically that's what it is. It's coincides, when they say we're having a spiritual warfare, what do you think we're having? So it's the same thing, just lingo is different.
Right. It's kind of like in the Bible when it says Jacob wrestled with God, or wrestled with man, and he was, broke at the hip, and he named that place the Pioneer, kind of like that. Once again, pointing to a reference of the body of a place where you will seek for God, right? So only through the Pioneer can one see God or wrestle with God, however you look at it, right? So there was a lot of things that was mistranslated in order to fit the carnal mind, right? The spiritual mind had an understanding for it, but it was beyond the carnal. That's why it says, do not lean on your understanding, but it really was, do not lean on linear understanding, right? Which is the understanding that is taught throughout the years, right?
Yes.
That's what it really said, right? Because you have to get
paying attention. If we're really paying attention, I don't know if you have children or
it might be linear
kids. So if you know what you're raising in your home and they're acting out, it's more, we're quick to say he's hanging around with people. It's not that the kids are, or the people that way woke up this morning and said, I'm going to be bad. I'm going to do bad things. No. That's why it's called. And these attacks are real. They do happen to our children. And if you don't see the signs, like I didn't see signs, like I didn't recognize the signs of spiritual warfare until you see it through.
See, I think like once we get into it and we break down like what's happening in our digestive system, see, it took me many years to understand what was taking place in my own digestive system, right? I didn't know by eating like beans and certain things, it formed a gas within inside the body, right? If you eat fruits and vegetables, fermentation takes place inside the body, right? And turns that into fructose energy that turns it into a form of a gas that will then proceed upward in the vessel. This is why you belch when you eat fruits and stuff like that. You will find more of a burping than other passing of gas, right? But when you eat meats and beans and stuff like that, the digestive system sends that gas to the waste, right? There's a reason why fruits and vegetable gas go upward, because you're building a firmer mint, which is a firmer mind, right? And there's a reason why the other gases go to the waste, right? Because it's no good. The body can't use those gases, right? The gases that can go upward is gases that the body can use. And only through these gases can it get to the head, right? Because the gas comes out as a burp, which comes out on the altar, right? Sometimes you taste it, sometimes you know, but these gases also go to the brain to create a firmer mint. So the Bible was telling us how to create a firmer mint to protect the vessel of mankind.
Yeah. So and that being said, it's like sometimes I'm wondering, okay, the more they start announcing things, little things that you can see, and people say, well, you have to be anointed to have the Holy Spirit, you have to be this, you have to be that. And it's like, no, if you are one with God, you believe and trust, your God is your God. You don't need go somewhere to have somebody tell you you're anointed. You are anointed because you accepted the name of Jesus Christ. You accepted your God to be who he is. When you go through the spiritual warfare, you can see it. It's noticeable. These attacks are real, and the thing is that when you can't, it's like when you have that child just is fighting you for everything, and you're like, hey, how did we get here?
But on the spiritual side, this is where, you know, the digestion is known as Saturn, because that's why, like, you know, this is how you get into the concept of like what is Saturn and how they created like the growth process of the body. You know, your digestive system does a reverse thing when you're asleep, to where as though it actually purifies the body and pushes out a lot of the, you know, mucus and stuff. So this is why when you get up, you might have to, you know, blow your nose, you might have to, you know, defecate or whatever the case may be, because your body pushed out all of that. But if this is only if you do it with an empty stomach. If you go to sleep with an empty stomach, it's a reverse of your system where it's cleaning it out. But if you go to sleep on a full stomach, right, then your body is digesting that of what you put in it. You get what I'm saying? This is why you get up in the middle of the night and get a midnight snack. This is why, like, if you go back to TV a while back in the 90s, this is why they started implementing the midnight snack rule. They put it in a lot of movies and stuff where you had people having a midnight snack, usually as like cookies or milk or something like that, or sugar or you know, warm milk, whatever. So they implemented this through TV, you know, through television and different, you know, propaganda of, you know, however you look at it. These were the ways that they were influencing society in order to, you know, bring us into a concept. You got to think biblically wise, they didn't have 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like, so for an example, like, do you have like what everyone calls nowadays spiritual gifts?
I know what my spiritual gifts are. I know about the Kundalini energy. I know about fragments of previous selves. I have all of these different things. And I am very aware of deceptors, of those who are put into, you know, steal people's image and likeness and portray them as that, as in the times of the Jujitsuits. I know why the Illuminati was put in place in order to go against the Jujitsuits. And then I know when the Illuminati became corrupted, because to be a Illuminati, you have to illuminate light. And white cannot take in the lights of this world. So that's why Cat Williams told Joe Rogan, I know your secret. I know that you can't be an Illuminati, but I can, because only those who have a certain DNA can take in a certain variation of the light of the sun to get you know, that of what is coming in through the Galactic Federation of Light and what is coming in through the sun. So I know that the world is one big stage and we're all playing our role as vessels.
And the issue is, the biggest issue is to control all of this, you know, platform that we have to the point where we're not losing children, we're not losing lives, we're not.
I think you have to stop trying to make this carnal. I think you have to stop trying to make this a carnal conversation. You keep on trying to place the fear in everything that I'm saying, which is carnal fear. No, stop. Remember, the flesh is weak, right? So when you start using terms like losing children, all of this stuff, we are not losing children. We are not losing. Remember, a child is what they titled us as down here, but spiritually, we're 40 years children. This is why they had 40-year schools. So you're 40 years in your Uranus mind, which is your childlike mind, right? And they said that in the time of, this is why they said, in order for us to enter the kingdom of heaven, one has to be in a childlike mind. The Aquarius sky puts us in line with a childlike mind because the ruler of the Aquarius sky is Uranus. Uranus is the 40-year beginning stage of what you're in before you transfer to your Saturn mind at the 40-year marker, right? This is why people like Jay-Z got the 40-40, all of that stuff, right? So when you're in a conversation over here, we're more attached to the spiritual part of everything and bringing everything into an understanding, right? Not so much as the carnal fear that comes with the flesh, right? Pointing out that this is against us, pointing out that they're taking us out, so on and so forth, because energy is being transferred. Everything is being transferred. There's no such thing as the unaliving process. They put that in play when they place fear, right, to keep you in your root chakra, right? So now that of which is and always was is a part of the regular conversation, and we have to take that out of the conversation, the fear.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing, and that's the one major issue. Like, for my instincts as a mom, I was always fearful. Like, what if I let my kids loose? What are they gonna do? You know what I mean? And it was just like I was always living in that fear. So it's just like, okay, how do you get out of that fear? And you know, you can read the Bible all day, and it doesn't matter. That doesn't take away that feeling. No.
Yes, it does. Christ showed you how. Through the example of a spiritual Christ, it showed you how to remove fear from the vessel. You have to stop feeding it. Stop allowing it into your heaven. Stop allowing it into your ears. Stop allowing it to penetrate your eyes. Stop allowing. See, a lot of people watch fear in the world all the time, thus far creating vessels of fear, right? Because evil begots evil. So if I'm constantly focusing on the evil in the world, then surely evil is going to be got from that, right? So it's all about your intent. A lot of people don't know how to transfer their intent to focus on positivity, focus on the good in the world, so on and so forth. But if you apply Nikola Tesla 369 method to focusing on positivity, then you'll be pushed in a more positive reality.
Oh yeah, and it takes time for some, you know, like for me, it's taken some time to kind of connect everything, because it's like, for example, like my attacks started with dreams, a lot of it, and it was just like, why am I dreaming about people that I don't even know? And it was just like, okay, it's just a dream. I don't have to pay attention to it, and I don't. But then when you start dreaming about people that you do know, it's like, okay, what is this?
But the Bible tells you that your dreams are God's interpretations.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So in a sense, like your dreams are trying to align your spirit with your carnal. Like, so when you have certain dreams, it's of a collective, if you would say so, because you're in a higher mind of yourself. But a lot of people are stuck in survival. So a lot of people's minds are in the state of their sacral chakra or their survival chakra, right? So when you're in your root chakra or your sacral chakra, you got to worry about, that's what your dreams are going to interpret it, your worries, your doubts, your so on and so forth, because that's the state of being that you're in, right? So when you start to elevate your frequency and start letting go certain fears, right? That's when you start dealing with your heart chakra, right? That's when you start having dreams about love and all of this stuff and so on and so forth. And that, a lot of people get trapped up in that chakra too, right? And when you start dreaming about, you know, career goals, standing in your truth, you're probably in your throat chakra, right? And when you start having higher dreams, you know, dreams of you know, old mythologies and so on and so forth, right? Now you're in the higher chakras of yourself, above the crown chakra, right? But you wouldn't know this unless you understood, you know, frequencies of the body to understand what frequencies you're in. So when you do shadow work and stuff like that, this is where you start placing all of these things that come to mind. So when you start putting things in your root chakra, this is where you're like, okay, what is my worries? What is my doubts? Am I safe? These are the things that you would say to yourself. Am I safe? You know, so on and so forth, right? And then that's what you put in your root chakra. So when these things come up, you know that you're in your root chakra. These chakras are moving constantly all the time at the same time. So a lot of times you can be having a fluctuation. This is where crisis comes in. When all chakras are aligned and you having these, this is where you're like, I'm freaking out. I don't. So a lot of people don't know how to control the vessel because you wasn't taught how to control the vessel.
Yeah, you're right. Do you see in the near future what we're talking about now? Because we have the platform, you know, TikToks, all these platforms. But like I noticed that when they want to talk about it on live television, it's like a sugarcoat. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to understand, like the people that is in control of what we go through right now, they have been taught to manipulate the lower vibrational frequency, which is fear, guilt, shame, you know, so they keep you in these things through your guilty pleasures, your lust, your greed, your gluttony, right? And that's the energy that they have known to be and known to manipulate. So now that a new way of life have to be taught and how positive energy rules this plane, right? They have to come into an understanding of that before you see this stuff pushed out. Like if one entity out the group, you know, decides and say, you know what, hey, listen, let's try something different with this energy thing and let's try to push, you know, positive and see how that works for the Lee lines under the earth, right? Once they do that, then they'll realize a different level of manipulation with the crystals, right? That's when you'll see us move into a more positive world, right? So right now it's like the forces that is used to manipulating us in a different way. But once they realize like, hey, we can rebuild the body of mankind using the other vessels that are higher up, because that's the only way that they're going to regain certain power in this world, is to realize that they have to push us to a higher elevation of self, right? So you're going to see certain characters, you know, that are figureheads, like, you know, first you'll see Kai Cenat, right? And then you're going to see other characters implement knowledge. So you're going to see them try to show more people reading books, more people going back into different variations of studies, so on and so forth. So they're trying to push this into the world, but until they get it to the idols that are in control of the population, because you got to look at this and say, okay, the 5% that controls the 95%, or the 5% that controls the 10% that controls the You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and now here's the question, and it's more of like, how do you prevent someone like, for an example, you have all this expertise, you've probably been through all of the things that some of us are starting to go through. Not that we wanted that third eye open, not that we knew that it was open. When it's like, for an example, how do you block?
You have to actually be willing to take on some of their cosmic karma. We don't know how far back people cosmic karma go. I don't know the entities that make up your vessel, so I can't say how much cosmic karma is coming to any vessel down here. But one has to be willing to take on a little bit of that, and that might be with, you know, going through some stuff with them as far as traumas go. You have to be willing to show like, hey, you're not the only, you know, I'm in this trauma thing with you. So some people use that as, you know, a way of trying to show people we're in it together, so on and so forth, and they're not alone. A lot of people just use words, and see, the problem with words is people know that words are easier said than done. So when someone tell you like, just, oh, just do this, you know, that's why you always get that like easy for you to say, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you're not in my mind. You're not going through like, I made promises, you know, you know, so certain people are bound to titles, certain people are bound to promises, certain people are bound to the spell that's in the word. So it's hard to just tell somebody to break the spell that's in the word. Take these titles off. Don't look at your mom as a mom. Don't look at your dad as a dad. Those are titles that keep you trapped, right? So how you got to gradually try to bring people into this understanding, and the only way to do that is try to meet them where they're at. But you'll never know where they're at unless you observe them. You know what I mean?
How do you not become, so say for an example, like me going through this stuff, and I'm barely starting to connect to how things are going, and I try to stop some of that stuff because it's more like, no, I'm not your garbage dumpster. I'm not a garbage can where you don't want to carry with your crap. You want me to carry it because I pray. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. But then nobody has clearly said, this is how you stop it. This is how you stop these people bringing their chaotic ways just because they feel that you can take it or you can handle it because you're, you know, you pray.
Well, not really. The universe have deemed some people down here to be part of Lyra. Lyra is the light of this world. Lyra is the morning stars. So people bring us morning. And it's not because you know, they're trying to put it on you or whatever. It's because your vessel is the place to put morning. If you realize that you are a part of Lyra, then you'll realize the reason why people pour that into you is because you know the proper operation to transfer that energy into light. It's considered to be the light of Lyra, right? So a lot of people don't know how to transfer their negative into light. But as a you know, as of what we was taught with the Lyra, we have been taught a way of transferring negative into light. But a lot of vessels down here don't know why they're light beings. It's because you transfer negative energy into light. A lot of people are going through so much shit, but they still finding means to smile, be happy. You know what I mean? Those are light beings. The people that you see pushing past the way this world truly is, those are light beings. The people that you see skipping in darkness, those are light beings. Yeah, we look crazy because the world is so upside down. How are you still finding happiness in it? It's not me. It's the it's the way my vessel is set up. You know what I mean?
You know what? You make sense. Unfortunately,
You're going in and out. Yeah, you're going in and out. We can't hear you. You're going in and out.
My daughter passed away last year.
Okay. You're going in and out. We can't hear you.
And it's like, I guess people are expecting me to be miserable and angry and want everybody's head on a platter, and you know, like for me, it's more like, no, when you're at peace with something, if you're at peace with yourself, no matter what life come at you, you're just like, okay.
Do you see how you keep on, you know, referring and going back to the unaliving process?
Yeah.
I want to ask you, like, and I'm not trying to, you know, be, you know, of disrespect or say anything disrespectful or anything like that, but ask yourself, why do your mind keep on making the conversation go to a remembrance of the unaliving? It's because you're from the Orion. You're Orion, right? So Orion is the one who is manipulating this low vibrational energy. So your vessel might not be going through it, but what you're doing when you bring it up is you remind everyone else about the unaliving process. And as they say, death is inevitable, right? So when you're pushing out a tongue that is speaking about that, you might be okay with speaking about it because that's how your vessel operates, right? But what you're doing to the collective is you're pulling them into a lower vibrational intent.
Okay.
That's the power of the tongue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The reason I talk about it because it's hard for other people. Like it's like they're watching me. Like, how can she just move on? Like this person doesn't exist. What do you want me to do? I can't go back into the ocean and put her back together. That would be great for me.
You see how you still doing it?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Now let me help you. 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 Because this is, you know, contrary to like growth, right? The realization of an unaliving process is to realize that it don't exist, right? Your daughter is still with you through energies and memories, right? But if you keep on focusing on her unaliving, what justice is you doing her memory?
That's true.
She didn't just unalive. She lived. She lived. So why are you not talking about how vibrant she lived? Why are you not talking about her celebrations? Why are you not talking about the things that made her smile, the things that made her happy? Why are you not remembering her in her light? Why are you remembering her in her darkness?
You know what? You're right. And you know, and I'm going to tell you why that's happening. And you said it again. There's got to be a low vibration in me that I'm not seeing or capturing in me, which I strongly believe there is, and I think it's my current situation. Because I am just like, my attitude is just like yours.
I think if your situation was better, then you could remember her in her light. Yeah. You know? I think if your situation was better, if you wasn't in your root chakra right now, in your survival mode, you know, I think you would remember the joy. I think you would remember the love. I think you would remember the laughter. But because you yourself is in a state of being of in that root chakra, you're remembering root chakra thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. And how do you clear that though? How do you get rid of it when you're having? So I'm in that root chakra, like you say. The issue is that when you're being spiritually attacked at the same time, and you know it's being done, because obviously I wouldn't have these dreams about, like, if somebody is using me, and I don't.
Okay, so I'm going to explain to you two ways to find out. One, I'm going to explain to you how you find out if somebody's using you and who it is, what vessels they're operating down here, right? Because whenever you find yourself coming out of these chakras, these vessels will contact you in real time. Sometimes you'll find yourself coming out of these chakras and moving to a more loving expectation of oneself. And all of a sudden you'll get a FaceTime call, or, you know, a Facebook call, or some type of call. Or sometimes it'll come in the form of reminding you that you're in debt. So the more you raise up out of these chakras, you might start getting debt collector phone calls. You might start getting, you know, so on and so forth. So these are the ways that you recognize when, not only when you're in these chakras, but when you're coming out of these chakras, because you'll have things that will start happening that is trying to pull you back down. You get what I'm saying? So when the people around you is the ones that are doing it, you'll get these phone calls, usually from family members or friends, and they'll try to remind you of the old you or some other shit that bring you down, so on and so forth, right? And when you stop giving people info, they'll start inquiring about you more, right? So it's like dropping off the face of the earth, right? Where you stop letting people know what's going on with you. When you stop letting people know what's going on with you, they can't manipulate you anymore. The only way one can go through operation of the manipulation of cohortions of the heart is to keep telling people what's going on with you or what's going on inside of you, right? So when you separate yourself from the world will show you truly who they are. But when you're knowing yourself, right, have something that reminds you of who yourself is, right? I have chains that I wear that reminds me of who I am, and I'll grab these anytime that my mind starts going into these realms. But because these frequencies are being pushed into our world so tough right now, it's hard to ignore them. So I use music to block it. I'll just put music in my ear, even if I'm talking to somebody. There's the music that I want to listen to, the music that puts me in great feeling, the music that puts me in higher operation. I keep that playing in the back of my mind. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, I actually do that.
Now that's how my body operates.
From like a pastor's, like for an example.
You might need to hear like a self-taught, like you might need to hear like a conversation or something, but that's how I go about. Like you got to find what's good for your vessel, you know, whether it be like you might have to watch good shows, you might have to go back to watch childhood cartoons, bring laughter back into your environment or something. It's you might be watching something constantly that is of low vibration, and on top of that you probably eating pork and other things that is of low vibration that's bringing on that fear, you know?
Yeah, and you know, like for me, I noticed, like just like you, I have a lot of gifts that I'm not ready to.
I don't have any gifts. I got inheritance.
Inheritance, okay, we can call it that.
Yeah. A gift is presented to you outside of you from someone else as if it don't belong to you. These are mine. These are my inheritance. I was inherited this. This is something that is passed on through the bloodline of Lyran, Syrian, and so on and so forth. So these are my light beings, my light language. This is something different. When you start to sit in the ethers, you are no longer of the flesh. Although I am in the flesh, I am not of the flesh. This is what makes us multi-dimensional beings. But one would only know that by moving in the spirit. Like once you start moving in the spirit, then you realize that you're multi-dimensional. But you still operate in this carnal. So you still have those carnal desires and everything that comes with the flesh. You just know that the spirit is a different operation.
Yeah, and because sometimes like for me, this is like something that existed. So for me, it's more like I was always pushing back. I did the pushback thing. I want to know, don't tell me. I don't care. I'm living my life the way I want to live it. but also doing it in a way that wasn't affecting anybody. So it was like, no, you're trying to manipulate me. You're trying to guide me to the way you think, and I'm not going to do that. So it's more like the pushback was always there. So, you know, the church saying how we're supposed to see it as not as a gift, but as, you know, it comes down the bloodline. And for me, it was more like, okay, now how do I start unblocking what people are blocking? Because I know that's what's happening, but I don't know how to unblock it.
Okay, so first you got to realize that it's not people that's blocking it, it is thyself blocking it. The enemy is your inner me. So your physical world is just an expression of what you're going through in the spirit. Anybody that you come across in this physical world is a physical entity of what you're fighting inside yourself. So when you create a fight inside yourself, there is a persona on the outside that is also created that might come into your life. You get what I'm saying? Once you once you identify what you're fighting inside yourself, that outside entity will also disappear too.
Okay, so here's an example. People say, like, I've heard it in the past, and it still happens today. Though I can stand here and talk to you, and maybe you've known me for over 10 years, and you'll say, your voice changes. I'm like, what do you mean my voice changes? And they're like, yeah, like, you've got a different voice, like somebody, like if you're speaking for somebody else. And I'm, well, are we not supposed to sound like each other if we're related? but I think the issue is like, and I constantly hear, it's like they stole your identity. Like, you are not who you're supposed to be. And I'm like, how do you steal an identity? And then somebody called it a destiny swap. And I'm like, what the heck is a destiny swap? And, you know, not everybody is capable of teaching or explaining the way you're explaining.
Well, it is a difference between knowing thyself and portraying someone else. See, when you know thyself, you don't have to learn someone else in order to, infiltrate who they are or, portray who they are, right? You might have similarities or so on and so forth, but it's different. See, what a lot of people are doing right now is they're listening to spiritual people, and then they're going to try to pretend to be of that spiritual image in order to gain physical, or carnal desires, right? So right now, because everybody is coming into a spiritual knowing, right? You see a lot of different characters coming out portraying a spiritual being. Because why? Supply and demand. So if you see that the people are not buying into the old way, you have to do what? You have to send out what they call PRs. Your PR team go out and they figure out what is people into in the world. Guess what people are into? Conspiracy theories, spirituality, so on and so forth. Okay, Orlando Brown, this shit.
Yeah, I get that part.
That's why you got Finesse 2 times out here tripping out. That's why you got 607 Unk. That's why you got BigHungryCC. That's why you got Jaguar Wright. That's why you got, Orlando Brown. That's why you got, Ray J. These are the personas that they try to figure out like what the world like. So basically what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to take what is happening in the world right now, and then they're going to move it into what they want to go into, right? Which is that, fornication, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah,
that's why you had Diddy, that's why you had Diddy change his name to Brother Love, so on and so forth. They know the operation of frequency change, right?
He changed his name so many times. It's just like, why do you change your name?
But the entities, because a different entity rules that vessel. That's why they changed their name. because the name change is a changing of rulership in the vessel, right? So if like, say, my vessel is controlled by, lust, right? Then my name would reflect that of what is in control of my vessel, right? But then when I change the state of being to something else, there's a different power that's in seat right now. So then the name change as to, give that of which is, right? So when they change their name, they're using the Socrates method, right? Socrates said the secret to change is giving all focus to the you that you want to be and not the you that you were, right? So the name change is an empowerment move in order to give focus to the you that you want to be, as opposed to, that's how you get out of karma, debt, and all of that shit. That's why, in the NDA, such as Diddy's, you probably can't talk about him for 20 years after he's gone, because they already know that energy transfers, and they've been transferring their energy in different people, this whole time down here, playing this whole game of gods, so however you want to look at this, the only problem is now you got to give that back to the people. You got to explain to everybody what makes them a god.
Yeah, and like way before that happened, I'm thinking about maybe 9 years ago, before all of this, and I didn't know who Jaguar was until last year, and I don't know what made me say it. There was an award show going on, and I looked at him and I'm like, oh my Lord. I said, and I don't even know why I said it out loud like that. And I was watching the award show, and I looked at him, and then next thing you know, you see Justin Bieber on there, and I'm like, holy crap. And the person that was sitting there, like, what? I was like, nothing. And then I don't know what made me think about it. And I said, the poor kid, God, protects him and gets him to a place that he needs to be, that's going to help him get out of this. And I recall saying, like, it's going to be big. This is going to be really big. But obviously I can't tell you, I'm lying yet. I can't tell you none of that stuff. I just can tell you, like, holy crap, this is coming. It's going to be big. People are just...
Right. Well, over here at the Atlas Network, we like to break down and explain to them what that big is and what it is that is big. So we don't want to just leave them in confusion. We don't want to just leave them with a cliffhanger. We like to explain to them and articulate to them what's going on, not only in the world, but also inside the vessel. So I appreciate you coming up. Appreciate you spending time with us.
Thank you so much.
No problem. I got to get back to the... You say what? Yeah, well, we're moving towards the podcast. We're on YouTube and Twitch right now. And we'll be putting a podcast together soon. I'm trying to get in a new location. Got a lot of stuff going on in the physical, got a lot of investments. They say don't put, your eggs in one basket, however you want. So I got a lot of different things going on right now, moving in a lot of different directions, looking for co-hosts and stuff like that, putting together like an assistant, putting together a camera crew, stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of stuff going on right now. But I appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming up.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for the education.
Absolutely. I love knowledge. Namaste. To this YouTube, let's get back into this. If somebody else come up on the panel on TikTok, we'll hold discussion with them. And but hey, listen, I say we be back. I say we bring this back, bring it back to pushing out knowledge. Y'all make sure y'all donate, or support knowledge however y'all can. It don't even have to be me. I don't care if you donate to somebody else. Just donate to somebody that's actually out there pushing out knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Yes, we are exposing demons. Yes, we are going to continue to point them out. Yes, we are going to continue to talk about them. But guess what? Over here, you're going to get a little bit of that drip. you're gonna get a little bit of that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because I want my words to be powerful. I want my words to mean something. One's in the chat. If you want your words to be powerful, you want your words to mean something. See, they can push me out the algorithm all they want, but I will build this slowly and surely. I will build this table back. The whole Jaguar, like how Jaguar, that is a sign we're going to bring you all of this in this new time, the mindset, trying to overthink that she thinks she's going to do. You know, time. See, we break this down so much. See, we break this down so tough. We break their operations down so tough that it scares them. I mean, it scared them back then when we broke this down. So imagine 10 months later, they're still in the same operation and we back to pointing it out. You know, imagine 10 months later, they still in the same operation and we back to pointing it out. Right? Why? Because we want y'all to know. We want y'all to know about how they, they're identity thieves. These are the fraudulent idols that they put in place for their social experiment. You see Blueface jumping out of jail and then going straight on the internet with who? DDG, right? You see what's going on in the world. They ain't everybody's moving to streaming, right? That's where Atlas comes in at, right? Because we gonna get out there when the weather breaks and it start being nice out there again. We gonna get out there, get to the small companies, try to bring them into advertising and so on and so forth, trying to bring in that level of content in order to fluctuate with reality, because that's the reality of this. You got to get out there, but we got to do it differently. Why? Because we pointing out the scammers. We know when to be still and when to move, right? They mad because they can't figure out our operation. Where is he at now? Where'd he go? We had him. We had him when we had him on the farm. What happened? Da 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 da. Right? They mad because my shake loose is smooth. You know what I mean? The way I separate myself from evil and trauma is smooth. Once I see that you're not trying to get out the trauma that's in your life, once I see that you're not trying to get out of chaos, once I see that you're festering in that shit and you want me to fester in that shit, see too much chaos in somebody's lives, it normalizes it. You know what I mean? They want to normalize it. Whereas though you see it so much that it becomes normal. Where you see these crash outs happening so much, it's normal now. Y'all see it happening, people crashing out at McDonald's and ain't nobody saying or doing nothing because it's normal. You know what I'm saying? But whereas though if somebody opened the doors for somebody, you like, man, thank you. Why? Because that's not normal, right? The normal shit you see in this world, you don't say nothing about. The shit that's not normal, that's what you like, damn, that was so kind of you. Acts of kindness, that's not normal in this world. Generosity, that's not normal in this world. You know? The stuff that's normal, crash out, chaos, people like this. You know what I mean? People like this that sit there and try to benefit and prey on other people's downfall. Why? Because he's not a creative person. He ain't got the ability to articulate like I got the ability to articulate things. That's why he sit here and twirl his hair, we gonna and get them up out of here. He don't have that. That's why he won't come up in the box. That's why he will never come up on my page. These people can't battle. See, that's why Christ said when he come back, his tongue was going to be his sword. Because they can't battle with the tongue. They ain't got, I can give them a whole 15 minutes. Go ahead, 15 minutes. And I'll destroy them in 5. I can get them a whole 15 minutes and I'll destroy them in 5. You get what I'm saying? They don't have that ability. That's why the times that Jaguar came up on the panel, what did we do? What did we do? Made her look foolish. Called her on her bullshit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Every time she came up over here, what we do? Made her look foolish. Called her on her bullshit. Why? Because we really seeking the truth. We don't want to play this game with you where you think you the idol and you think you big homie CC. He just a worker and his boss is my man's. All this. That's why I say she might as well just go into rap battle. Jaguar will be a better rap battlist than anything. Cause she think that she, that what she on here doing. This is a YouTube rap battle.
So that's why I say it's deeper. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm just understand that YouTube picks and chooses their winners and their losers.
That's true.
So they're winners and they're propping up those guys. All we're gonna do is just bring them down, and we'll talk behind the scenes, and it ain't nothing nefarious.
Yeah.
See, make sure you tell YouTube how you gonna bring these people down since you bringing people down. That's why I say, like, you gotta pay attention to it. These wicked ass people. Well,
Clear it up.
That shit sound confusing as hell.
But I will say this to big homie CC. If we had a real interaction with each other, if any of that was ever real, then I think you need to start speaking up, sir. I'm not a gay man or a bisexual man, so you ain't got to worry about going back and forth with me. I'm just a bisexual woman in a monogamous heterosexual relationship. All you got to do is just clear it up.
That shit sound confusing as hell. I'm just that the shit she be saying, I promise you, it just don't make sense. I'm just a bisexual woman in a heterosexual relationship with monogamy. What? How the fuck is you everything and nothing? You all things and everything and nothing at the same time? Like what the fuck? I'm just a Christian Muslim Catholic. That's a Muslim Catholic. That's what I am. I'm a Christian Muslim Catholic.
Don't do that.
You hear this, big homie? This is her taking shots at a lot of things. I wonder if big homie's gonna respond to her. Y'all think big homie gonna respond?
Wanna know why? Ain't none of my business. Ain't my agenda or objective. But when people keep trying to create heat around my name on some low bar subliminal shot, at best you'll get from me is a friendly fade.
Oh, this a friendly fade.
Shots fired.
You hear that? The best you gonna get from her is a friendly fade. Now, what big homie CC look like out here giving you a fade? Huh? The big homie CC supposed to be protecting black women. He said he don't like black men. Allegedly. I think he might like black men a little bit too much. I mean, big homie CC fake like he was engaged and then he broke up with the chick. The chick said that he walked too slow in the mall. Can you imagine somebody breaking up with you because they said you walk too slow when y'all go out to the mall? That's crazy. Big homie CC said he had to break up with her because she said he be walking too slow. Every time they go out somewhere, he walking too slow. Well, that's because he got two left feet that don't fit that heavy ass upper body of his. You know what I'm saying? When your lower half smaller than your upper half, you're going to have that penguin wobble. You're going to have to take your time. You know what I'm saying? Top heavy than a mudsucker. I'm telling you, Bearstein Bear type built. We ain't got to get personal. It's a friendly fade. You should keep it that way. That's what she's saying. You're using her Kendrick skills. We ain't got to get personal. It's a friendly fade. You should keep it that way.
Yeah, I know he keeps talking about Bigfoot too. And it's just, I don't know, was Bigfoot at a freak off? Because I'm trying to understand what the fuck we talking about.
Yeah, that's me. I walk fast. You got to keep up with me. If somebody was with short legs walking with me, they is toast. I walk fast. I'm trying to get to the destination. You hear me? I come from the city of walking, Camden, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Jersey, at a time that you had to walk, everybody else was still in cars. I was walking, huh? East Camden, walking downtown, Pollock, all of that. Jaguar, no, she was out Pollock. She know about the walking. She was just on the stroll. That's all. It was different. I mean, she wasn't, she was, she was out there, you know.
And it's a shame because the truth is, YouTube is about to turn the blue couch into a joke. They keep playing with them like that. Trying to keep up with YouTube? That's a foolish thing. They always move the goalposts.
Did you hear that damn briefcase again? Did y'all hear that damn briefcase again? Tell me y'all just heard that briefcase again. I know y'all just heard that damn briefcase again. I know y'all did. Huh? Listen.
Trying to keep up with YouTube? That's a foolish thing. They always move.
Tell me you ain't hear that shit. Tell me you ain't hear that shit. You know what she doing if that motherfucker get open. If that briefcase come open and shit, listen, it ain't closing there. Promise you it ain't closing there. That ain't that type of briefcase. And she ain't pulling out no motherfucking papers or nothing for that business briefcase to be clutching open like that. You know what I'm saying? There's only one reason why that motherfucker briefcase come open, and you know what it is. Huh? That business and pleasure. Huh? That is not no luggage suitcase. That didn't go, it didn't zip like a luggage suitcase. You know what type of suitcase that is. Huh? That's a 90210 Melrose suitcase.
The goalposts. And they don't never tell the truth. In my opinion, all YouTube does is lie. So, on that note, it's time for me to get to work. I'm sure Maggie's going to.
So, see, time for me to get to work. You know what she going to work doing? She working on that work. Open that briefcase up, says time for me to get to work. Who y'all playing with? We will point it out. This is why you don't see no production coming out of that side. That's why you don't see no land. They could have took 10,000, 15,000, bought land, put a little trailer on it. You know what I'm saying? They could have took a couple of YouTube checks, bought land, put 3 trailers on it, started doing something legit. That's why you don't see that type of investment. What you think they invested in? Huh? The Project Freaks? That's what they doing. How you gonna talk bad about my family? Jojo, Ray, Keisha, and my cousin Malik. You know what I'm saying? They invested in the streets. Money going to the streets. All your money going to the streets and scratch-offs. And that's what we're investing in. Keep on trying to figure out, why it seems like drugs is being infested into our cities at a rapid rate, because that's the only thing these mother suckers know. That's their mind. Their mind is on a quick dollar. I know how to flip this. Shit, I'm going to take that book money and flip that shit. Go look at Ronnie Slow. Everything he talked about goes back to drugs. Go back to selling drugs. If I wasn't on here selling y'all these lies, shit, I'm going to go back to the street. Nick, you doing it anyway. That's why your nephew throwing up pitchforks, GD signs. Come on. Big homie CC. The only thing they ain't do is try to come out with an album together. Because that's all they doing. They trying to shuffle the deck on us where they become somebody of importance. Y'all ain't hip hop. Huh? Did you see Big Homie two-step? Huh? If I ever came in contact with Big Homie CC, all I'm going to do is challenge his ass to a dance battle. We're going to settle this like they did in the old school. Pop locking. Huh? Get the cardboard out. See if your ass can bust a move. That's how I'm going to beat him. Dance battles. Put your fist down. Put your dancing shoes on. Let me see if you can two-step. Huh? Step in the name of love. Let me see if you could do that. Get your wobble on. You got to take them outside their element. You know, they want to try to do shit with brute force. That's what's up. Get you some land. You know what I'm saying? Get you some animals on that land so you can push yourself in a different tax bracket. That's the way out. The way out, get you some land. Get you a corporation on that land. You know what I mean? Put a trailer on that land. Put some people in that trailer. Let them do TikTok or YouTubes or whatever they do and get an income coming in from that trailer. Get some money coming in from that land. Put some crop on that land. You know? Put some animals on that land. You know? Operate as a farm and a business from that land. You already, through your social security number, you already a corporation. Now operate as such. You got the right to. Through your own social security number, you got the right to operate as a corporation entity. Coming with the aluminum. On that note, I want y'all to understand. I'm telling y'all, we broke these people down to a T. We broke them down to a T. We pointed this out. We been pointed this out. You know, fraudulent. Right? I would never get on the line.
Before she shows up there,
See?
they have to burn certain.
Did he just say Sean Carter? If you don't know who Big Hungry CC is, right? This is Big Hungry CC. Okay?
I will never come on the internet and argue with men on any type. I will never come on the internet and argue with anything that I've said and proclaimed has turned out to be true. You know, I'm going to say some things that's probably never been heard on the internet before. Sean Carter is somebody I've worked with.
Boom. What did he just say? Did he just say Sean Carter is somebody that he worked with? He said Sean Carter is somebody that he worked with.
He's somebody I've actually been security for. You know, I've met his wife. Before she shows up there, they have to burn certain candles with a certain scent for a certain amount of hours before she'll show up.
He worked with Jay-Z before.
A Hennessy smoothie machine. The Hennessy was a Slurpee machine.
That's why I want y'all to really think about this. Like, fuck the lies that he's telling. I want y'all to really think about this. How the hell are you a bodyguard for the elites and somebody broke up with you for walking too slow? How are you out here protecting people? You can't even put a pep in your step. If shit hit the fan, how you gonna get them out of there in a haste? Huh? How you gonna make a speedy exit? Huh? I bet he gonna tell a lie. Nah, because when shit hit the fan, I'll be moving fast. Shut up. You can't even move fast to keep a girl. Broke up with you because you walked too slow in the mall. Shut up. How you gonna get somebody to the car expediently.com? Huh? Man, these people, they're characters. I'm telling you, they're characters. They're made up characters. And this one is the darkest of them all. This one is literally like a demoness, like her son said. She is a demoness, you know? To say, like, you know, that Giovanni was the same entity that he was, she said he's probably, you know, up there being a dick like he was in real life. That's the type of shit she said about her son. He was an asshole in real life, so he probably up there being an asshole. Who says that about their son? Who says that? You know? She was dark. She sacrificed her first son.
My son died because he was my son.
He died because of
He
your
was
life.
targeted because he's my son.
He like
He was working on his EP. I bought Philadelphia for him so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Rock Nation. And they approached him to sacrifice me.
Now, I want y'all to think about that. If this is the story that she's telling, right? That her son was approached to sacrifice her, right? Think about that. That means she said her son was out to get her. And she's here and he's no longer here, right? And she said it out her own mouth. I sacrificed him before he could sacrifice me. See, the problem with people that get on the internet and use Uggs and talk is that they don't remember what they say after they come down. She don't even remember half the shit that she said. When you start bringing up clips of the stuff that she said, she start trying to make it seem like it's AI. No, it's not no damn AI. It's you high, motherfucker. It ain't no AI. Just say it. That was the you high moment. The shit you don't remember, it wasn't AI. It was you high. Just saying shit. I know where all Jay-Z illegitimate kids at. You high. I'm working with over hundreds of victims. You high. You know what I'm saying?
I saw his death when he was 19.
Think about that. What kind of mother say that? I saw his death when I was 19. That's why I moved out here to prevent it. How you move out there to prevent it and it happened out there? Huh? Look at the what is this? Velvet? She just listen. I know when a motherfucker just out here just saying whatever, mind fucking the shit out of people. Huh? Cause look, you got to remember, Jaguar Wright is making this stuff up in her own head. You know, remember the youngest son said that his brother was doing GTA in the streets. That means he was out there pretending to be a gangster, rob shit, so on and so forth. Right. So this robbery was set up, staged by who? You the one that moved your son out there. So who is he going out there to find to rob and so on and so forth? How you take your son somewhere and he start robbing people? That's some shit that you put him on. You set that boy up. And now we in 2026. I told you this is maximum exposure. It's maximum exposure 2026. You know what I'm saying? That's why she don't want to sit down and have a conversation with me, because I'll make her admit out her own mouth what happened. You get what I'm saying? I'll make her admit out her own mouth what happened. you know, about why Courtney Burgess said that Jaguar was on a video making her son watch some stuff go on and play with you know the rest. You know the rest. Come on. Do y'all really want to get into it? Huh? We not playing. We fully exposed, open up doors, show you the truth. What's really going on? Why Courtney Burgess called her Misha? Huh? Or what he call her? Mushara or some shit. I ain't gonna call you by your name. I'm gonna call you. Y'all remember. I remember. Don't act like y'all don't remember, because I remember. Yeah, a blast back from the past. Contradicting they ass. Huh? It's a blast from the past that's contradicting they ass. All they lies is being exposed. And those listen, that federal investigation is getting closer, Jaguar. That federal investigation is getting closer. You know, it's $8.8 million on the line, according to Brian McKnight. Huh? $8.8 million on the line. Huh?
You're coming through.
We gonna show y'all how this shit works, right? See, Jaguar was with the shit in the beginning, right? She was with the shit in the beginning, right? She was with it. Chris Todd, all of them using people. What did Chris Todd say? He's going down anyway, so you attach as much stuff to him as possible. That's why Misha Fuller said, you know, I was supposed to come out if Diddy get locked up or Jay-Z get locked up, right? Because this is how this game was working, right? They was getting money off of this,
So fix it.
right?
That's my clip.
Most like say you got Chris Todd,
You know, lawyer, community.
hold on, let me find the
The one
part.
book came out
For trading
this
this
child
there
there
too.
to
Courtney Burke, granted, he do got one finger. He might be able to say something else. You need two fingers in order to you put two fingers on the side of your nose. Something that like Courtney Burke.
Which is fine. I get it. I'm mad at her.
Yeah.
Jack, she should disappear on her too. Because look, Ariel, look, I'm sure she's a good lawyer. Okay. She's kind of a hustler, and that's in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way. You know, when we told her about that there were S tapes out there,
Here you go.
we didn't tell her to go on national TV and say it.
Boom. Now. Do y'all see what's happening here? Huh? Do I need to put it together any more plainer? Come on. Somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me. Do you see what's happening here? All of them was in cahoots together to manipulate the internet, right? Until Jaguar got her grubby hands in the mix. And then she started thinking she was bigger than the program. That's why they implemented her in a lawsuit, right? That's why they did that, to show her that she wasn't bigger than the program, right? See, once Jaguar thought that she can play all these sides and play everybody against each other, and they started realizing that, damn, she's playing all of this shit to build her platforms, They said, hell no. Hell no. It ain't going down like that. Huh? Fish food. Yeah. Right? Let's keep listening. Oh, but wait, there's more.
Time and they pull them too soon. It just, you know, souffle can look like a very beautiful thing when it's cooked. But man, you do it too much one way or the other. They haven't had enough time to.
Look at her face. Her face is stuck.
I'm just even killed and I'm unhinged and losing my mind. You know, this whole gamer aspect of it, I never really allowed myself to get inside the mind that that's how they see this. This is a game for them. This is a video game for them with real people. And they've gotten very used to having advanced knowledge because of all their spies. You know, Dory Davis has bought and gifted about 500 memberships. She always buys them 50 at a time. She's done that at least 5 times, maybe more. And then loose here and loose there, and here membership, there membership, everywhere membership. But the one
Hey,
that made it.
you know when she mentioned the gamer, she's talking about me. You know when she mentioned the gamer, she's talking about me. She can't say my name anymore, so she's like, the one thing that's getting me is this gamers. You know, they get in your head, they analyze you. You know she referring to me when she say that because she said these damn gamers, she think that they hired a game. Still want to stop me from getting my and shine.
Someone like me.
Listen to her.
People talking to me.
No, this is old. This is old. You got to remember, we exposed everything a long time ago. You know what I mean? So this is old. We exposed and pointed out everything a long time ago, right? Before Maddie broke off and tried to create her, you know, whatever, we already exposed that this is how this works. You know, you build them up and then, you know, you got to go and create the beef and so on and so forth. This is how all of this internet stuff works. You know what I mean? So this is how you still hold these ties, these connections, these, you know what I mean?
This is kind of disturbing because this girl's been running her mouth like this for half a decade. Absolutely. We've also established,
You know, but on the internet we can find each other. We can
kids that came out of that cult until after they defected. I told them when they were ready to leave,
another connection. This is the connection to the Nature Boy camp, right? This is her admitting that she was connected to the Nature Boy camp, right? I told those kids when they're ready to leave, da 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 da, right? And I did nothing but that, help them get back into society. See, that's why I say they don't like us because we point out the shit that other people are not pointing out or asking about. You know what I mean?
needed my help transitioning back into a normal life. I would help, and that's exactly what I did.
That's exactly what she did. Now you up. Most people be like, we don't. I hope y'all hear the volume. Here's them talking about the the baby farms. Oh,
baby farms now.
Oh, hold on. We got to back up some. The newborns are getting trafficking. Y'all keep that in mind that she said that she mentioned that, and then we'll get back to what. Because Jaguar Wright, that was, oh, see? That shit.
Weird shit. If it looks weird to me, I scroll back. Hell, I was doing around watching a bunch of weird shit for. Now, they came to me on Bigo. Nosy Ho came to me. Tokyo Tony came to me. Just gotta do something. This guy is terrible. And when I saw him, guess what? They were right. He is terrible. Ezekiel Bishop is one of the most deplorable human beings ever in life. But I had nothing to do with that cult. Matter of fact, I didn't have anything to do with any of the kids that came out of that cult until after they defected. I told them when they were ready to leave, if they needed my help transitioning back into a normal life, I would help. And that's exactly what I did.
That's exactly what she did.
Like the godmother.
Like the
You know,
grandmother, like the godmom. You know, she's like the grandmother, like the godmom. She's G-mom. Has any of y'all seen any of these children that transition back into the world? Do any of y'all know any of these children that's transitioned back into life? Have any of y'all seen to them? I didn't see to them. In the 4 years that Jaguar's been on here, I didn't see to them. Did y'all see to them? Because I'm trying to figure out what children she's talking about that she's the G-mom to. Because I didn't see to no children. In fact, Sam got away from her so quick. Soon as he turned 18, 19 years old, he got away from her, right? A year and a half later, he's still going through therapy to get the things out his mind from his mom's, right? But where the kids at that she talking about? Because I ain't seen to them. We've been searching for kids. We've been looking for kids. Here's Jaguar Wright saying that she helped them and she's like the grandma. The grandma to who? To where they at? If you got some grandkids out there, let us know. We need to protect them too. If we protecting her, we need to protect these kids that she the G-mom too. But let's keep listening.
I still don't understand how taking people to church and having Sabbath dinner with people and spending time with kids and making music with people and teaching people how to properly harness their creativity. And like, I don't understand how that makes me a cult leader.
What? When was you doing all of this? The kids that she said she helped after the you told her that you. Now, the reason why I play that is because I want people to realize Jaguar Wright is a habitual liar. She turned around right after that live and came up with something completely different and then try to host another live where she's explaining that stuff. You know what I'm saying? She is not playing.
If he can advocate,
That's the thing about Jaguar.
then he can stand for himself.
So more recently, Ladina Gold pop out.
Backwards.
I hope y'all hear the volume.
On their children. I heard her mentioning baby farms now.
Oh, hold on. We got to back up some. The newborns are getting trafficking. Y'all keep that in mind that she said that she mentioned that, and then we'll get back to what. Because Jaguar Wright. See? I'm telling y'all. They tell on themselves. They tell on themselves. Jaguar tells on herself.
Don't make me say your name. Just do the right thing. For me. For once. Don't make me say your name. I don't want to. For one of the bad guys, you weren't so bad. Please don't make me say your name.
This is the bullshit.
What you did to Kathy was bad. What you did to me was worse. But Michelle, nasty work.
All the many lies.
You want that?
To somebody else. So, see, we've been. That's why I said. Just to get them started up. She done gained. Listen. Hold on. She about to be 50. She done gained a lot. I'm gonna tell her everything. You can't tell her. Hold on. That's why I say if you just go back to everything that we were pointing out, like we already, pointed out all of this, all of their schemes, all of their bull crap. I'm about to find the one with Courtney Burgess to show you the connection. They're all connected. They all was in this together. They mad because the cookies are crumbling now, but they was all in this shit together to exploit and make this money and scam. They was in this shit together. Jaguar Wright thought she was too big, started trying to take down the same people that she was, plotting with. Same people she was eating with. They all was passing around the bull crap. They were just passing it around. Yes, they was. A circulative bull crap. They were mad at us because we were pointing it out. That's why they were so mad at us. They was like, man, somebody y'all gotta get him. They put Sherelle and them on us. You know what I mean? They was like, get him. He is telling what we doing. Get him, please. Hey, stop him. Hold on. I gotta find the one where she turned on Atwoods. Is it this one? And like they say, all right, that's Ralph D-A-Y. Edit. Drive, right? YouTube, fix it. I ain't going around no chip. People won't have to, because that asinine or redundant. That's like Latanya. I mean, not Latanya. Okay, so right here, look. This was when she had the autistic, she was selling the autistic based toys, right? Trying to tell everybody to go follow this page, right? And she had those toys, trying to act like they was, go follow this page. We're gonna sell these toys, da 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 da, right? That's why I said, like, y'all don't be paying attention. And I don't mean y'all, like, maybe y'all too busy. Maybe y'all doing shit. You know what I mean? There's no reason Jaguar Wright should be selling fidget Ronnie. Right. This is all over YouTube. This is all over YouTube. TikTok act like they late. TikTok. Look at this.
Of course.
Look at this.
Let's just go full hog on that thing for sure.
She is not with the truth. No, she's not.
I've seen them in my site chat.
Yeah, going back.
Yeah.
Okay, look. See? Yeah. So this is one of the fake things that they're selling, right? Fidget spinner toys, stuff like that, autistic based toys. Who's been getting manipulated a lot lately? Autistic based people, right? From adults to the youth. You can watch the lineup that is coming out, right? They are literally suffering with mental or some type of spectrum, right? Think about it. How is people that talk about where celebrities put their genitals all the time is going to turn around and sell fidget spinners and pop, like, come on. Come on. Come on. Y'all, that's why I say, even this. Come on, y'all see this boy. Y'all see him sniffing shit in his mama's living room. Come on. As you can see, he is cleaning his nose, right? If you want to see what we're talking about TikTok, you have to go to Ralph the Wise. That's Ralph D-A-Wise on YouTube, okay? Look at this, YouTube. He is blowing his nose, right? He's cleaning his nostrils out right now, right? And I want y'all to listen and look at what he does after he cleaned his nostrils out, right? He's cleaning it out right now. He's cleaning it out. So there's no need for him to blow his nose again. But watch what he do. And then I'm going to explain it after he do it.
Psychic blockage, for lack of a better word, I would imagine. But a lot of things are burned. A lot of people see things being burned and assume it's sage, but there's a lot of things that can be burned. There's
There's a lot, man. There's a lot. We're just gonna have a fun chitty chat here tonight, but man, we're delving. And have you witnessed anything else other than this one group? That let's just call them the Mr. B group. Have you witnessed anything else that would make you say that could be an
Y'all ain't see him just take that line. Y'all ain't see him just snort. You see that? Look at him. Look at him. He is on, and they come out the woodwork. And you telling me this was somebody that was working with the elites and all of this shit? Look at these characters, man. You could tell they all part of the same group.
I mean, that's totally understandable. You are just human, right? But I think a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit for their resilience. I think when people like yourself,
I play this because I want y'all to listen. Listen to Ronnie Bo.
Embrace those who show love, who show genuine concern. Like, I appreciate y'all.
Our caring almost becomes intrusive. You know what I'm saying? It's
Now, when Beverly did her remote viewing, then she can say, you know, Ronnie Bo orchestrated a bunch of stuff, right? Talking to the police like this is why. And a couple of the gonna have a big black guy do community.
Y'all don't like to do your job because Bobby over there in Legends is pushing coke and weed into the entire community. And
damn, she told on Bobby at Legends. No wonder why she don't want to go back to the soda. She owed the dope man. She told on Bobby. She said Bobby over there at Legends is pushing dope in the community. Damn. She is telling. No wonder why she don't want to go back to DeSoto to Dallas. She in the police station telling like this. She and Bobby over there at Legends is pushing dope. So since y'all don't want to do y'all job, I'm calling in the DA. Damn. Y'all ain't know she was telling like this, did y'all? Y'all ain't catch it. Y'all was too busy laughing, right? Y'all was too busy laughing about stuff. Y'all ain't catch that she been one in there and snitched on all them people down in Dallas. And you know, the Yellow Beasley trap house and all of that stuff. She been one in there and told on them.
I have to make a complaint
because
my husband just assaulted me the other day over at Allure. He threatened to kill me, so I need to file a police report.
Listen to this.
But I need to get the legal information first.
Listen to this.
All y'all motherfucking jabs.
Listen to this. She is in the police.
Piece of shit,
do y'all really think we stand a chance? Listen to me. Do y'all really think we stand a chance with her as leading anything? Think about this. We will send her in to negotiate. She gonna come out and say, well, they said we're gonna have to fight our way. No, they didn't say that. They wanted peace, and your ass wasn't there with the anger. You know what I mean? We can't win with this. We can't move forward with this. This is not no leader. This is straight mayhem. Yup. And I told Ramirez that I was going to have some people do some stuff to his wife, and I was going to film it. And the cops is just sitting there letting her say this shit. Why? Because they already know she's 730. They already know she's a 1051 or whatever numbers they say. They already know. You know what I mean? Look at her, man. She is deranged. Look at her face right there. That is Orlando Brown. That is the face of Orlando Brown right there. I don't know. They said this was like what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Sorry. And when I met, can't keep up with her. I'm fucking sit up in her mind. He's like everything he's putting out there. Look at her. See it for her. Huh? Says she's conjuring. She is using the attention of people to conjure
Gaslighting me. Couldn't say my name.
she's talking about, she's sitting there talking about
They had everlasting life. If only they were rejoicing in truth.
she is in there farting in the bubble bath. She is rubber dub farting in the tub. Ew. Ew. Yeah. You supposed to choke on that shit. You supposed to. Ew. Yeah, I bet. Bet you did. You say how I know? You say how I know all that it was Friday the 13th and it was a full moon? Because I also was sending energy up on that Friday the 13th, that full moon. Because these are the times that you can, operate highly on, different variations of, the ocean, if you would say. This is your feelings and emotions, the operation of the moon. Now, there's an operation that comes with the sun, too, that comes with the operation of intent. So when your intentions and your feelings and emotions are both aligned, your ability to manipulate energy is stronger in the universe, right? So she was sending up a bunch of low vibrational negative energy. You pay attention to what she's competitiveness, right? Now then they can so forth.
Go after Mr. Carter for a
And that's where Trevor Green was created too. When she told the story about Trevor Green in that tub.
You want to know what the first thing Alex Fury was going to ask for? A gag order. Until the case is concluded, which would mean legally, I could no longer talk about any of these things online until the case was over. Now, if I pass away before that, then. Or if I break that order and I'm forced to go to jail, they put me on medication and give me the old Wendy Williams two-step. Isn't that funny?
It's like, she just say anything. This lady just say anything, I promise you. I mean, Yellow hold on.
I won't send anyone.
Don't want the lithium no more. Right there says alter your life, right? That's the vibe. Dudes with Dina Gold to fit us in. Put certain things in the freezer. You gotta be careful. Don't know when I went in. I'm no. Look at her. Honey for a buster. Put that book.
She went to the hospital. She came out with the schizo. I went into the hospital. I came out with the same thing I already had.
Look.
PTSD.
No, hell no. I went to the hospital. I came out with the same stuff I already had. Yes, a bunch of shit. A bunch of shit. There ain't no way you gonna say I came out with everything I already had. Yeah, what do you mean? Like your lipstick, your pocketbook, one shoe on, one shoe off. What you mean you came out with everything that you? I came out with everything that I already had. Yes, a bunch of shit. You had a bunch of shit when you went in. You had a bunch of shit when you came out. A bunch. You probably supposed to be taking 18 pills right now. You ain't taking none. That's what I'm saying. Y'all can't tell me. See, the problem with the mind is once you come off of certain drugs, your mind's not the same. So you can't even come off of these drugs once you start, right? She knows that. That's why she looking at us like that on the screen. That's why her eyebrows is like that. You can tell all of them by their eyebrows. Their eyebrows always go in, just like one of the Who's from Whoville. They always got that Whoville face. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can tell the evil ones. They always can do their eyebrows in that Whoville look. You know? Tell me she don't look like the Grinch. She look like that little girl off the Grinch, all grown up. Done turned evil on us and shit. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. They keep her hair in a little tied up. Is that her name? No, the one on the Grinch. Cindy Lou. There, it's just not specific bipolar shit that she said.
Hospital, I came out with the same thing I already had, PTSD.
Now, here's the question, and I want everybody in the comment section to answer this question. How many of y'all, as normal people, had to check yourself in the hospital? The fact that you had to go to the hospital and get diagnosed with anything says a lot, doesn't it? If you gotta go to if you gotta go to the hospital to get diagnosed, I went to the hospital. With why? What made you go to the hospital? What made you say, you know what? I need to go get checked. I need to go check myself into the hospital. She's saying it like a trip to the hospital didn't mean nothing. I went to the hospital. I came out with the same stuff I already went into the hospital. You was a manipulative. You is a motherfucking manipulative. I know when I'm being manipulative. Somebody say, I went to the hospital and I came out with the same thing. So what you go in for? It's like saying I knew what I had before I went there. So what was you checking on? I was normal when I went in. I'm normal when I came out. No, you wasn't. No one's normal when they come out. You said you had a lady fart on your neck. That right there should alter your life right there. Just the fact that a lady thought it was okay to fart on your neck and scream shots fired. That right there will change my perspective stepping out of that building.
They tried to say I had bipolar, but they said it was not specific and it was only trigger based if something triggered my PTSD. I got PTSD. C, PTSD.
Yo, it's non-specific. Only if someone triggers my PTSD. Shit, fuck! I just told him I got PTSD. I got PTSD. Okay, I got PTSD. That's what I got. But if you should trigger the PTSD, it might go into that non-specific bipolar stuff that I was just telling you. So just know that I got PTSD. But if you trigger it, I could go into the bipolar chronic stuff that they said that I might have. It's acute. It's very acute. Like you really gotta do some stuff to trigger it. Like talk about my bonnet.
Very acute. That's my diagnosis. Her diagnosis, schizo. Man. I could have turned the girl away.
You could have turned her away, right?
I didn't know she was getting evicted. I found out later she was getting evicted.
Selective bipolar shit.
So it was a nice hustle for her.
It lies dormant until you come between me and my habits.
On the street, she didn't want to go back to her family because her family was probably going to get her admitted back into the hospital.
Right. Her family was going to get her admitted back into the hospital. Right. That's what any family member does when they're dealing with someone who's mentally unstable. They take their ass back to the hospital and get them back on their meds. Same thing your family trying to do with your ass, Jaguar. So you talking about you can't just run around and just link up with all the mentally disturbed people and tell them, hell no, we won't go. Tell them we don't want the lithium no more. No more Ritalin, no more Prozac. We ain't going back. Jaguar Wright trying to do a listen. There's too much mental health issues going on. Listen, if you suffer from mental health, now this is the truth. Public service announcement, PSA, trigger warning, trigger warning. If you do suffer from any mental illness, please stay on your meds. You are better on your meds. You are safer on your meds, right? Your doctor, your therapist, those are the only people that you should be sharing any type of information with. Be careful of who you tell your medical diagnosis or situations to. You could be telling your information to a Jaguar Wright who will literally pretend like they are you. Like you tell her that you got these things, she gonna tell you nothing wrong with you, but she gonna act like she got those things. You gonna be sitting there like, what the? She gonna be like, yes, your bipolar triggered my bipolar, which triggered my PTSD, which triggered my schizo, and now I'm all over your ass. So you got to be careful with playing with entities like this. You don't really know, you know what I mean? Yeah, sociopath. They learn you, then they start exhibiting the traits and the characteristic traits of you, and then they deny you from being you. It's shapeshifter.
So she got a free bus ride. She got free food. And people sent her money on Cash App too.
Look.
And all of the money that they sent me for her, I either sent to DJ Genesis to pay the driver and to pay for the food that they had while he sat in the car with her for a couple hours.
What driver? Why did he sit in the car with her for a couple of hours? You know what I mean? Like, what driver are you talking about? Why did he sit in the car with her for a couple of hours? Where was he taking her? I thought it was a bus ticket involved. There's some more questions that need to be. See what I'm saying? That's why I say, man, this shit was comical when it happened. It's comical to this day. I mean, you could repeat the shit I said back then, and it's still funny. It is still funny, you know. I'm hilarious at sometimes. I can be hilarious at sometimes. Hold on, y'all. I gotta do a TikTok real quick. Let me show y'all how this stuff works, how easy this stuff works. Y'all go to my page on TikTok and make sure y'all follow. But I gotta do a TikTok real quick. Just giving some congratulations to that person who did the Dr. Pepper thing. You know what I mean? Because she got 2 million for that shit. So shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? Instant overnight shit. Hold on. Let me do this. Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Pepper for making that commercial and coming through. They paid her 2 million. 2 million? Shit. 2 million? Man, they got me sitting here feeling like I need to come up with a jingle or some shit. I don't know what I'm gonna pick, but I feel like if she getting 2 million for a jingle, shit, we all about to be jingles. Cause I'm trying to come up with something like that. 2 million. Oh, she just came out. It was so smooth. Just Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper. Do. Like what? Man, boy, I'm telling you, the internet will change your life. TikTok will change your life. Y'all keep creating out there. Something you might do might go, but do it in a positive way, like her. All right? Love is love. See, you got to stay consistent with this stuff. If you're going to go online, you're going to do this stuff, you know what I'm saying? You got to stay consistent with it. You know what I mean? However you look at it. Y'all see, you got to get to the trending stuff. You know what I mean? The stuff that's trending, the stuff that's hitting. And then you take that and then you go from there. A lot of y'all think that y'all just about to y'all. I ain't just over here talking crap with people on. I got other stuff that I do on here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do other stuff on here. Branch off, connect with other people. You know what I mean? Do bigger things. You know, dreams, ambitions. A lot of people on here trying to tear other people's platform down like they the only one that should be able to speak about this or speak about that. You know what I mean? That's why we don't need a Jaguar Wright around. You know what I mean? Their whole operation is fraudulent. Like just the concept of them trying to take other people's pages for doing the same shit that they doing. It's okay for you to target, you know, these different people. And look, like I said, that RICO Act coming soon because once they make the connection with the whole, you know, Ramir thing and everything like that, all of them should get hit with a RICO. You know what I mean? God, mom, all of them. Y'all played on the people. Y'all played on the public. The answer when she's trying to fast explain. You know, y'all played on the public. Y'all should go down for that. But you know, we gonna keep on exposing. We gonna keep on pointing it out. You know, it's been 3 hours. So what we gonna do is take a break. You know, and but before we go, we do want to play this again because you know. Remember, she had the Baphomet tattoo. Remember, she was, you know, she listen, she sacrificed. She sacrificed her dad. She sacrificed her son. She sacrificed her mom to try to get back into it. But she thought she could manipulate the powers herself. You know what I mean? Think about it. She had DJ Genesis giving her mom her medicine. Why would you swap medicine? Well, we was taking the same medicine. So no, what? Every doctor tell you not to do no shit like that. Fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So this shows you the bullshit around the bullshit. You know what I mean?
My son died because he was my son.
He died because of
He
your
was targeted because he's my son.
he like
He was working on his EP. I bought Philadelphia for him so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Rock Nation. And they approached him to sacrifice me. I saw his death when he was 19. I moved us here to stop it, to prevent it, to avoid it. They take them anyway to show you what the harm is. Giovanni, his death is why I do what I do. My son died because he was my son.
he died because of your
I'm telling y'all, there's nothing but darkness, darkness, darkness around this person. You know, when you got somebody hell bent on bringing in Armageddon, when you got somebody hell bent on ushering the destruction of America, however you look at it, we got a problem. You know what I mean? So y'all can, you know, those who follow can continue to follow, continue to try to make it seem like the madness that she's pushing out is justifiable. It's not justifiable. If you take a closer look, if you look into this person's life, if you look how she's manipulating the system, you can see the scheme and the scam in all of it. The problem is people don't look with a discerned eye. People don't look with a righteous eye. You know what I mean? People look with feelings and emotions, you know? So y'all looking through the eyes with feelings and emotions. You know what I mean? You go back to people that know her, right? You go back to people that know her, you know? Go back to Goomba's interview when he's telling you about how, you know, the whole ashes situation came about. Her smoking her son's ashes, right?
Telling me this, that, and the third. And I didn't do nothing. Okay. Then I go online and understand you went on your own page on YouTube. 911 is a joke. And you explain to the officer what the fuck happened. about you contacting the VA, or the VA lady called you and told you, hey, I work with the VA, I understand about veterans, whatever the case may be. While we're peacefully sleeping, you're out with this nigga, eating that velvet taco, splurging with this nigga, skinning and grinning, and your husband at home asks you to stay with him. Don't go out. Matter of fact, let me take this nigga home and be with me so we can work on the coming together.
I heard her say that as far as Velvet.
And this is before the shop incident, before she went into the you know, what you call them, and said, you know, they trying to kill me, they selling drugs down there, and so on and so forth, right? So like that's why I say, you know, and I ain't gonna play all of this because you could go back and watch it, you know, on Real Life Real Life, whatever it's called. I don't want them to hit my content for this, you know what I mean? But he talks about it over there. And I just think like more people should really have like discernment when it comes to, you know, Jaguar Wright, any of this stuff that we sitting here, and a lot of people don't want to because it doesn't sit right with their feelings and emotions. So a lot of people are just going what sits right with their feelings and emotions, you know, not truth. We got to get out of that. We got to stop trying to do what feels good. I'm always trying to do what feel good. That don't feel good. That don't feel good. Sometimes the truth don't feel good. All right? The truth don't feel good all the time. Okay? But get out of that idea that the truth's supposed to feel good. Huh? Tell you that I love you. Right? Remember, one's image of oneself should be greater than reality. Nobody's going to think highly of you if you don't think highly of yourself.
Why obsessed about surviving?
We're going over to TikTok to play the game because, you know, that's what we do in between breaks. We're going to come back again later on and do another live because, look, I like this stuff. I like pointing this stuff out. I like mixing up spiritual with porno and talking about certain things. If y'all like it like I like it, make sure y'all support it. You know?
Always is, always was, will always be just love, always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love, always is, always was, will always be just love, always complete, always enough. Love is love. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long? Your pride convinced the right is wrong. When I speak, you say you're listening. When will you ever hear me? Love is love, love is love. Always is, always was, will always be just love. Always complete, always enough. Love is love, love is love. Always
I provide it.
always was, will
I love y'all. I love y'all. Remember, we winning. We standing in the light. We standing in the truth. You know? We winning.
Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long? Your pride convinced that right is wrong.